Age, pick up the pace, everyone I ain't find no haze. Indeed, I ain't really my effort in vain. The needle my veins while falling asleep. King of the dead, I sever your head. When shit touch the river, my ring will be fed. I touch the sky, no light to the day. I watch my demons because of the sand. Oh, I'm not an orphan. Death feeds my important.
And welcome to the Silent Worker 2024 meets. And today, my friend, we have a murderer's row of competitors, former world champions and current world champions, world record breakers, legends of the game like Panagiotis are in the mix, Turbo Tiff, and of course, fresh off of his amazing 83-kilo win just a week ago, Jurans Kengamu from the UK, but it doesn't stop there. In the 93s, we have Brennan Petrie, bronze medalist at the World Championships, as well as, of course, Emil Krastev, who won a silver medal. And if people thought that these lifters were showing up here today to just phone it in and have some fun, I could tell you right now, Turbo Tiff weighing in on point, Panna cut weights, talking to Emil, talking to Brennan Petrie. They are going to go all out. It is going to be a battle for the bag. I'm very interested in seeing what happens. What are you thinking, Alex?
I'm absolutely excited because most of these lifters are absolutely going all out today. There's been talks between them of what they wanted to eat. I've seen certain numbers. I'm absolutely excited. There's got some French shooters behind that I want to tease a bit. This A group of the prime time of the Silent Worker meet, and I'm expecting huge battles at GL points and in between these categories. So I'm very excited and also very honored to have you here.
Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, I also am fresh off of the World Championships and, commentating every session there, but it is always an honor when they bring us in. Whoa, we're live. I don't know where our camera's at.
Up there.
Oh, there it is. But yeah, we even have, junior world champion, European champion, Kemi Hadras as well in the mix. Brutus is here. We have a bunch of these French lifters that are either at the European stage or the national stage and already winning medals.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a battle. And as we speak, Kemi, who weighed in the 57-kilo class, opening up with 145 kilos. Kemi's won junior world titles, European championships. She's accustomed to this level of competition.
But she decided that it was time for a new beginning, a new era for her. This first competition in the 57 class.
Yeah, decided to move up, and that's daring. Sauvan Pal is also in the mix.
Also Chad Jacob in France. So that's a very, very stacked class.
Very stacked indeed. and the competition has begun.
First squat moved great for Camille. 3 white lights.
3 white lights and Cammy's on the board. And speaking of Sylvain, up next with 160 kilos, not long ago battled her way to the podium at the World Championships, punching her ticket to the World Games, and now is that silent worker competing. I seen her yesterday. She was iffy. She wasn't sure if she was going to compete, but a little bit of pressure goes a long way, and here she is.
Absolutely. She's the kind to go all gas, no brakes. If she's competing, she's there to go all out, and I'm very excited to see what Sylvain will do today.
Best squat from her, 182.5 kilos. She did 180 kilos at the World Championships just a week ago.
And I have a secret, Ryan. She squatted the world record in the gym, so we can expect a huge squat from Sylvain.
Depth looks good, and for a lot of these lifters, I think a lot of them are going to be testing out where is the body? Where's the central nervous system? Are we firing today?
And Sylvain looks to be on point. I hope it's the case for all of our lifters.
Yeah, that looks like, well, we'll see when the second attempt comes, but that moved like an opener should with 160. Julian Gutierrez, 195. Julien in the 59 kilo class.
He's accustomed to the international stage 2. He's done Europeans multiple times. Is the number 2 behind Antoine Garcia, who's a former world champion. And he's eager to climb up the rankings in France. And he has his A game today on the platform to go against Antoine.
Depth looks good, and Julien on the board. Let's see if the refs agree.
It looks like they do.
3 white
And it's
lights.
fast for Julien. It's fast.
And to be ranked number 2 behind Antoine Garcia, no small feat. Antoine also collecting a medal at the World Championships and earning his right to represent France at the World Games. And speak of the devil, here he is. Former world champion in 2022, clinching the title in South Africa. Now at silent worker, 200 kilos on the bar for him.
Fresh off Worlds where he almost PR'd on every lift and eager to compete today. He looks determined. We can see the look on his eyes. He's here to fight, and that's what we like about Antoine.
Antoine and Julien just slightly over the 59 kilo class today. Of course, this is off of GL points. Wow.
Don't blink, Ryan. Don't blink.
I almost missed it. I looked at our monitor, I looked up at the platform, and it was almost all ready.
And now we have Malik Triolet, who's a junior natural champion, but he recently bombed out at French Nationals. So he wanted to come back on the platform stronger and show that he belongs on this stage.
265 kilos for Malik Triolet. An opportunity for redemption.
Looks convincing to me.
Yeah, I'm convinced as well. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights and it's good.
And one last opener.
275 for Antoine, aka Brutus de Rodin, coached by Pana.
We can see his FIFA card, but I can tell you, this is not true at all anymore.
Antoine is an absolutely massive man. Humbling to see him in real life. And the crowd pops as soon as he steps forth onto the platform.
He's definitely a fan favorite. He made the sport even more famous as it is because of his influence on social media. And we are very thankful to have him today. Come on, Brutus.
Wow.
How about that?
And Brutus, 2-1 is on the board. Not at all surprised to see some mixed results from the refs.
That's the thing he's been working on recently. He changed his setup, he changed the bar position. He's coached by Tana, so he knows all about these details.
Emmanuel Rousseau,
That's him.
77.5 for his opening squat. Weighed in at 95.62, just a little over the 93 kilo weight class. And a lot of these lifters opening slightly more of their weight class because it's based off of GL points.
But it's very surprising to see him that light because he just competed in the 105s, but is looking at going back down again. So we'll see what he can do at this weight. But you know how we call him? We call him the Maboul because he's crazy. He's a madman on the platform. He's well known for that, for the Maboul training system, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Emmanuel is a madman.
Emmanuel, before powerlifting, was an MMA fighter. And he will fight for his attempts. That was fast. 3 white lights, and the Mad Bull is on the board. Let's take a look at this slow-mo replay right in the pocket.
Not slow, right? And every athlete scored their opener. That's good to see. And we are on to the second round of squat now.
2 flights today, and once we complete Flight A, and Flight A itself has junior world champions and stars, but Flight B, the names on Flight B, some of these lifters will end up in the IPF Hall of Fame, I guarantee you.
That's a fact, Brian.
No break, we'll go straight into it. Don't go anywhere. Cami now, back up, 152.5 kilos for a second attempt. We're moving up 7.5 kilos.
That's almost the usual jump she takes from 1 to second.
All-time best is 155 kilos, but like you said before, she's moving up in weight class, and we're expecting some PR lifts today. That moved well.
Looks like squat is on point. Very promising to see what Camille could do in this 57 class. And it's like she was not competitive in the 52s, but she decided, like, never mind, I'm going to 57s and I'm going to be even stronger.
Wow, one of the side effects of lifting weight, added muscle mass, and Cami using it appropriately here today. Pal, Sauvin, 170, 10 kilo jump. Now I'm thinking the 160 opener's probably a rangefinder, see where she's at on the day. If she does another 10 kilo jump, she'll be at close to her PR.
That's true. And that's what I'm expecting, to be honest, but we'll see. Let's go, Sauvin.
Whoa!
That's quite the grind for Sauvin.
That is a fight. Sauvin, the fight came early today. Might have been expecting more than 170, but when the fight came, she was ready. And I'm assuming she'll take a smaller jump for her third.
We'll see. I don't know, because she's quite the fighter. Sometimes she explained that, I know what I did. I might have misgrooved a bit, and she wants that 180, so we'll see. I won't bet money on it, but we'll see.
Julianne Gutierrez, 205, also another 10 kilo jump for Julianne.
And now we're talking. That's quite the squat for Julien. But his opener moved fast. He's confident today. And as I told you before, he wants to fight.
Julien, previous personal best, 202.5 kilos. Julien loading up a personal best on only his second squat.
He's made progress and he's ready to showcase it.
that's a fight as well. Second round of squats, and already we have some fights, my friend.
That's the silent worker effect, man.
Another shot of Cami.
A 15-kilo jump for Antoine Garcia. The bar is loaded. He looks extremely confident. The man loves his squat, and the squat loves him back. He's been on the rise up since Europeans.
Yeah, 15-kilo jump. It's not a small jump in the 59-kilo class. Wow, 59 kilos and a little bit of change. Oh, and that was much smoother. That was much smoother.
And very convincing to hit that fresh of worlds is absolutely crazy. And he still has a third squat to go, so we'll see what he can hit. But 215 in the 59s and a bit of change, as you said, is a very huge squat.
Malik Triolet up next. 275 for Malik. He's gone as heavy as 295. In his previous competition, 280. Where might he rest today? It was work, but it wasn't top end work.
Looks like he's on
2-1 though.
Oh. And yeah, lack of
See if
depth
we have a
for Malik.
replay.
We're struggling with the replay here.
Yeah, it looked on that line, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
We don't have the greatest view here from the side, but
It was borderline. We could understand, but I would say like he's on path to hit that 280, but I don't know if he will since he's got overturned.
Be interesting to see what they load up for his third squat.
What's the strategy? We'll see.
Antoine Brutus, the Rodin, 290.
Remember, he's got 2-1 on the opener. We want 3 white lights right now for Antoine. Let's go.
292.5 is his previous personal best. Wow, I think we're gonna see
more than this.
I think they're gonna load it up for his third.
And the crowd is hyped.
Yeah, standing room only here. All the chairs are taken up. People are clustering behind us in the media booth.
What
It
this
is a
sport is
pack.
becoming in France is so crazy to see. It's so great. Whole bunch of passionate people and a reactive crowd. That's amazing.
Emmanuel Russo, 292.5.
And look at the determination on his eyes. He's pacing, he's hunting that bar. But now it's go time for Emmanuel.
It's a sizable 15-kilo jump, and if this moves well, we might see him load up that 300 kilo plus, and it would be a big feat for him. His body weight, depending on the day, can be anywhere from 93 kilos up into the 105s. Today, resting at 95. Oh, nice catch by the spotters. Waved it off a little early.
It might be the cut because he cut 3 kilos today to be more competitive, so it's hard to expect what you can hit off a 3-kilo cut.
Depth for sure, yeah, he waved it off. And you know what? Good point, because it's based on jail points. You don't just want to be in your weight class. Even if you go a little below, obviously he's well below the 105s, but it helps your GL points.
And he's a competitor, that's what it did it.
Former junior star, now in the open, claiming the European title. And recently moving up to the 57s, Cami Hedris, 160.
For what would be a 5-kilo personal best in competition.
You'd expect some personal bests when you move up in weight. Let's see how 160 moves for Kemi.
It would be a great sign if she has room on this. She's a
what
fighter.
a fight for Kemi. Locks it out, and my friend, 3 white lights, she's rewarded.
You know what? We're in the land of the grind.
Right. You know what? The reputation for French lifters and grinding, it's not a myth, my friend. It's legend. Take a look at that. Hits depth and bares her teeth as she fights through the sticking point.
Amazing fight from Camille.
And 180, look, we had hypothesized whether or not Sauve would move her way up to 180. 170 was such a fight. I'm a little surprised, but she loads it like you said, and here we are, 180 kilos for this lion.
As you like to say, she shoots from the hip.
She's shooting from the hip today. Recent Worlds medalist.
And you know what? It might move better.
Possibly 170 was a misgroove.
Let's see.
Oh!
And what did I tell you, my friend?
And I will bite my tongue. 2-1 it's in. And what can you say about that? If you would have asked me after 170 if 180 would have flew, I would have bet the house it wouldn't.
And that would have been a fair call,
and I would be homeless right now.
That would have been a fair call, but that's Sauvan, you know, and that's how she goes all out on her shield. What a squat from Sauvan.
Yeah, what can you say? I mean, this is a Worlds medalist, and you don't win Worlds medals that easy. You got to be built of something different. Julianne Gutierrez, 210.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge in the 59s.
Julianne hit a personal best in his second attempt. And we are moving 5 more kilos beyond that. Already having the best day of his lifting career so far. Julianne looking to extend that. And if ever there's a time to extend, it is at Silent Worker, where the world's best have all landed and are doing battle on this platform.
Well said, Ryan.
Oh, nice catch. He hits depth, but just unable to get out of the hole.
He had nowhere else to go from his second. That was the call, so
Yeah, it was an appropriate
fair play.
third attempt. Second attempt moved well. And Antoine Garcia now, 225 kilos. This is a personal best for him. And when former world champions are hitting personal bests, you know you're getting your show.
And you can see his coach Coco screaming at him, hyping him up.
Antoine had a very deep field of 59s at the World Championships. Probably the most stacked 59 kilo class I've ever seen, and I've been commentating for almost 10 years. That is, he went, I think, a little deeper than he anticipated. Wanted to make sure his depth was undeniable. Unfortunately, little loss of tension at the hole, and the spotters and loaders are right on their game today.
And I want to give a huge shout out to these spotters because most of them were either lifters or coaches today. Very dedicated crowd of spotters, sorry.
Yeah, hats off to them. You're 100% right. I recognize some of them from earlier session, lifting, stripping down, throwing on the spotter suit, and here we are still working away. Malik Trialet.
Retaking
Yep.
is second, 275.
And we were wondering where Malik would end up.
Oh, that looks deeper.
Depth, way deeper.
Undeniable.
Absolutely the best word to describe it. made sure its depth was undeniable. It gets difficult at that top end. Antoine showed us that. Sometimes when you try to go super deep, Malik, when you miss your second, come back for your third, you need to make those adjustments. Did it beautifully.
Great reaction from Malik, for sure.
Manuel now. Missed 292.5, retaking that weight.
Looks like our Maboul is on another level of hype right now. Maybe it will move this time. The crowd gives him love, shouts at him. He's known for his craziness, and it's time to display it. Come on, Emmanuel.
Now, Manuel has hit more than this previously. And we are wondering, did the cut he took affect him? However, sometimes lifters find another gear. Depth looks good. No, the exact same point, and the spotters saving him, but he did get his opener and will move forward in the competition.
And you've mentioned something earlier, and I think we are loading it as we speak. 300 kilos.
Yeah, 300 kilo mark. We're wondering if we would see a 300 kilo squat today. Well, here we are.
And I'm
Brutus
expecting the crowd to go crazy as Brutus walks on the platform, and they do.
The mountain man is on the platform for 300 kilos. He's never hit this much before, and what a huge milestone he will achieve if he can make this work. And that's a long way up and down with 300 kilos on your back, my friend. Whoa!
Whoa!
The strength on this man.
And 3 white lights for Antoine.
Brutus leaving the juniors, entering the open. He was telling me, I need to level up if I'm going to be competitive, especially with the depth that France has. And Brutus with 300 kilos is leveling up as we speak.
Yes, he absolutely needs to, because the leading 120 in France being Nicolas Perrault, he has quite the advantage above Antoine now, but Antoine is working hard, fighting, and we can see improvements. 300 kilos today for Antoine. Amazing. He wanted that bar, he got it.
As we take no break and move directly into flight 2. And to start us off, none other than 4-time open world champion while still being a junior.
Crazy streak.
Turbo Tiffany Chapon with 150 kilos.
We were mentioning Hall of Fame. I think she's a strong contender for that.
I mean, 4 world titles, still a junior. I've never seen it before. Powerlifting has never seen it before. Her top end, 165.5. Might we see that today?
And
What do you think?
That's how it's supposed to move for Tiffany.
Turbo Tiff never really blows up an opening squat. It's always going to be a bit of work as we take a look at the replay here.
That's how she squats, that's how she opens.
Yeah.
And in most cases, the second looks easier, so we'll see.
Lichar opening up 215. He's gone as heavy as 257.5.
And surprisingly today, we learned that he cut to 66s when he was previously a strong contender for the French Open title in the 74s. So that's his first competition in the 66s today.
Let's see how it works out for him. We're going to anticipate. Well, speaking of 66s, got a flash of Penna. Of course, the 66 kilo god. But first, Lichar Maurice can expect his lifts to come down a bit, but how much strength can he retain with a dropping of the weight class? What do you think?
We'll wait on the lights of the referees, and yes, I was expecting a red from our side. It looks 50-50. That's how he squats. Sometimes a bit deeper, sometimes a bit higher, but he's on the board.
Panagiotis, 235 kilos. Penna, fresh off of potentially the most intense and greatest battle of IPF history.
And you can hear the crowd. He's a fan favorite.
He made it onto the platform at Worlds and will be representing France at the World Games. Two-time world champion, legend in the game.
And you know what?
235.
I'm not surprised to see him on the platform today. He said powerlifting is my way of expression, and today you'll see something.
He's gone as heavy as 260 kilos. It'll be telling if he can make this move like an appropriate opener.
What do you think, Ryan?
You know what?
If it were
I'm waiting for
anyone
the
else,
lights. So, I wanted to say, it was going to be close. It was going to be right on that line.
I agree.
And the reffing here, they really don't care what your name is and who you are. They're going to call it like they see it. And even Penna is going to feel the heat. And the heat he felt. This is his opening squat. How will he adjust?
And now a newcomer on the scene, but the French junior champion, the French Open champion, Sheridan Denis, as known as Ciel. You might not know him yet, but you surely know him in the future. He's a rising star in France, and you'll see why today.
250 kilos for Ciel.
He was not supposed to compete, but he decided to, because he's also a madman.
Well, when the world's best are here, everybody's flown in. Don't let the opportunity pass you by. That looked deep.
That looks good. And you know what? His nickname is Caillou in French, which means the stone, because he's stone cold, you know?
Handled that stone cold. After seeing what happened to Penna, he wanted to make his depth undeniable. Shakes his head, he knew.
And he wants to beat his coach being Penna. He has that chip on his shoulder today.
Well, that's a tall order. 262.5 for Valentin.
Valentin, who's fresh off the Arnolds in the UK. He's a big-time squatter. Hit 285 multiple times in competition. Is it a bit more in the gym? I don't know what he has in the tank today. Is a bit over the 83, so maybe he has that extra juice and we'll see a 290. I don't know.
Yeah, if you don't have to cut all the way down, that little bit of extra. Oh, and he just makes easy work at 262.5.
That's how it's supposed to move. 3 white lights for Valentin.
You know, the amount that it drains you as we take a peek at the scoreboard, the amount it drains you, that last little bit of the cut is the hardest little bit of the cut. So when these lifters avoid that last little bit, oftentimes on the platform, they can go that extra mile, 287.5 for the recent silver medalist at IPF Worlds. Just a week removed from that performance. And Emil, if he's on point, is capable of 900 kilos. Can he hit that here today?
He said that's what he wants. So did Petri. So it's going to be a fight between these two today.
Emil has previously gone as heavy as 312.5.
Looks borderline to me. We'll see what the judges think.
Yeah, his judges agree. Borderline 2-1 though in his favor. And it moved smooth. Wow, the crowd, a little bit of a pop there. We'll take a look at this replay. Yeah, that was right on the line, but the judges like it. He now knows the depth of hit, to come out for a second attempt, and fresh off of his huge victory.
Oh, wow.
The crowd absolutely pops as UK's Jurens Kengamu opens with 287.5. Jurens opened with 290 in his title-winning efforts just over a week ago.
And what an upset that was, but today it won't be an upset if Jurens is on his A game.
He's not opening much less than the open at Worlds. Can he hold pace? Wow. Depth for sure.
No doubt about this one. 3 white lights.
And it appears as though he's right on point like he was at World Championships. I'm guessing he could take a bigger jump.
And you've talked about not cutting. That's maybe what he's feeling right now.
Because Jurens weighed in 89.35. Wow, that's quite a bit over the 83s. And America's Brendan Petrie, another world's medalist, opening with 290 kilos. Brennan weighing in at 93.74.
You know what? He's almost on home soil right now. He took a 1-week training camp here in France. He feels at home.
Wow.
And I'm excited to see what he can hit today.
I wonder what the Americans watching would say if they hear you. Look at the crowd. That depth. Oh. And Brendan,
hear the crowd react for Brendan.
Brendan opened up at Worlds with 295. We're not far off of that.
It's crazy what these lifters can do. Fresh of Worlds. Their passion doesn't go unnoticed, and we are very thankful to have them today.
This is a relatively quick turnaround as well. We gotta say, already we're back at the top of the order with Turbo Tiff 155.
Small jump.
Relatively, however, like I said, this is a very quick turnaround, and you have to adjust. And
That's
there's
true.
money on the line, and you want to win, and all of these competitors are here to win.
That's wisdom and experience right there.
150 move well, and we know if Turbo Tiff has to fight for an attempt, she can. Tiff, 165.5 at the World Championships.
And as long as she stays on her path, she can definitely grind a squat.
Yeah, you know what? And that is why the 5-kilo jump, she's a little taxed from everything that's going on with the Worlds and travel, etc. And I think they did the appropriate call there with a 5-kilo jump.
She might be a little tired because she helped all around with the organization of the meets, and she's very light today without a cut. So that's why.
You know what? I came in last night, and 100% she was already working the event late, up early, working again. No rest for Turbo Tiff.
Most definitely. And the crowd goes crazy for Lichard. Charlie Meres, 230 loaded on the bar, a 15-kilo jump for him. And I can hear many of his lifters, because he's a coach in the crowd, cheer for him. He's coached them today. They are cheering for him now. That's the spirit.
Veteran of the silent worker meet, but new to the weight class. Oh, there's a bit of a struggle. And here is where it gets tough. When you're new to a weight class, you're relatively unsure about the attempt selection. It's all new territory and uncharted waters, if you will.
And a 15-kilo jump is quite hard to predict, that's for sure.
If I'm honest, that was a little high as well, and usually an indication survival instincts have kicked in, and you start squatting a little bit high.
I agree.
See how he just ends? Squatted a little bit high on his opener, but Penna deciding to go up regardless. 242.5. Panagiotis Tavernidis, two-time world champion.
He's the ambassador of the sport here, and the crowd cheers loud for him. They want 3 white lights on that 242.5 kilo squat.
It was a bold move by Penna. Going up in weight.
I'm not surprised, he's one of the boldest lifters I know.
Depth is much better. Oh, that was a bit of work, but Penna is used to work. In fact, he's a silent worker. 3 white lights.
True. And now, Ciel, the lifter coached by Penna, the rapidly ascending lifter in the 74s. You'll see 260 might not be that much of work for Ciel.
This is a personal best for Ciel. 10-kilo jump, it's sizable.
And it's important to fit the standard, his experience, in case he's eligible to go to Junior Worlds.
And again, we see the head nod before it's completed. He's all types of confident now.
That's his signature. And I'm expecting something around 270, maybe 267.5.
Yeah, the way it's moving, it's kind of hard to call because his opener, they all look a bit of work. Some lifters are very fast out of the hole. Some of them are going to be working through.
I'm a bit biased because I train with him very regularly.
Very honest to you. Valentin, 277.5.
On pace to hit a PR, maybe. We'll see. Maybe match it. His best squat in competition is 285.
Valentin, usually campaigning under 83 kilos today, weighing in at 85.3. Might that help him? He made easy work of 262.5, but this is a sizable jump for him. That looks good. It's a bit, there's quite the slowdown in the middle, but never at any point does he ever really get bullied around by the weight. 2-to-1, it's in his favor. And we have a side angle here, and he never really gets pulled out of pocket. It's down up the bar path.
And you can see him shake his head. He's not that happy with that rep because that's not very often we see him like that. Not very often.
It's strange usually. Weight cut, travel, none of that really a factor. However, small adjustments. We'll see what he comes out for his third. And Emil Krastev, world's silver medalist, 300 kilos even on the bar for him.
And we've seen, like, during his interviews with him, with you, he was very eager to get back to work, and that might be work. We'll see. Oh, wow.
You know what? He did a 12.5 kilo jump to a second, and the way that moved, I would be totally unsurprised if he makes another 12.5 kilo jump to match his previous best. And my friend, his previous best is good enough for a silver medal at Worlds.
Not that bad, right?
If he can hold pace and hit his final deadlift, we might be looking at a 900 kilo and up total. Now here, Jerens Kingamu, 302.5, just 2.5 kilos off of his world performance at 305 for a second there.
And Emil and Jerens, both lifters being in the fight for the podium today.
Everybody said at Worlds it looked like Jurns had more on that deadlift. Might we see more today?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's smooth. That's smooth, and I'm wondering, 310 is what they loaded at Worlds. Do they load 310? Do they keep pace and load 307.5? The way that moved.
Looks like it's feeling good. We might see it, Ryan.
I would be comfortable if they loaded 310. I think it would be there, but
Is it the strategy today? Maybe he keeps it a bit of in his pockets for deadlifts. We don't know.
Brendan Petrie, America's own, but apparently being scouted and recruited by Fred.
Most definitely.
312.5.
He's adapted very well here. I've seen him make huge jumps in training. Like, he's been from 220 to 280 for doubles. Just like that.
320 kilos, a personal best he hit at the World Championships. Should he make this convincing, totally reasonable to see a 7.5 kilo jump to that today.
Come on, big praise, come on, man.
It's a little bit of a fight for Petrie.
Yeah, you know what? Based off of that, 2-1, and it's good. And Brennan usually leaves the platform energetic. He does it here today. I do like that. It's a sign that he's on pace. How on pace? I'd be okay with a 5 kilo jump.
Me too.
Maybe a stitch more shallow than 320.
It's crazy the level of strength he's able to maintain fresh of Worlds.
Yeah, and you got to factor in the travel. He has not been home in weeks.
Yeah,
but
from
here he
America through Lithuania, now France, and he was in Paris like 2 days ago. Now he's in the south of France. This guy can't stop moving.
Now I see he hasn't been home, but if I ask you, he is at home.
He feels at home, definitely.
160 for Turbo Tiff, 5 kilo jump for her.
And if she speaks to herself before squats, it's that because she's in her ritual, and the ritual is always good for this kind of lifters, world class.
Yeah, honestly, if you see a ritual broken, that's when you gotta start wondering and getting
Most
worried.
definitely. She's in the zone, ready to fight. Let's go, Tiffany. Hit the turbo.
Oh, and that is right on the money for attempt selection for Turbo Tiff.
And that's our champion, Ryan.
Like a seasoned veteran, you don't chase PRs, you chase a 3 for 3. Whatever's there on the day, that's what you're loading. And her team, that's not Turbo Tiff, her team doing an excellent job getting every kilo out of Tiff.
Amazing lifting from Tiffany. Before time world champ.
All as a junior, no less, and 230 kilos for Lichar, and it was a catch early at the bottom. We were wondering, had the weight cut possibly affected him? This is a new weight class for Maurice. He's definitely taking this one a whole lot more serious, and sometimes lifters can find another gear, find that inspiration, and hit a weight after missing. We've seen it.
Might his instinct kick in for good this time? Ready for battle. He receives the squat command.
Oh, the depth looks shallow again.
I agree.
And he's making his adjustments to his new weight class.
He's still in the competition. He hit his first squat in this new class.
But up next, a man who is not unfamiliar or new to this class. As a matter of fact, becoming a living legend in the 66s, certainly in France. 247.5, and this is the same third attempt as he hit at the World Championships. Penna Giotis.
He made weight today. He wants to hit the same squat he hit at Worlds. That's his way to express himself. Let's see what he has to say with that squat.
If he leaves squat with this weight, it is conceivable he could cover more ground in bench and deadlift and possibly best what he did at Worlds and maybe even best the 710 world record unofficially, of course. But first, 247.5.
Phones are out, people are shouting. He's setting himself up for a good squat.
Depth looks much better. Oh, and the grind is on, ladies and gentlemen.
The grind king!
Whoa! 3 white lights that time, and the depth was better than his previous 2 lifts. Undeniable.
Crazy fight from Penna.
Look at this scrap. You could boil an egg in the time it took, and the focus and fight on his face.
Never
You
a
see
doubt.
his handlers
Never.
on the side.
Even the spotters were afraid, they were tired, but never a doubt on the face of the
When
French
it's Penna,
champion.
you don't want to jump in too soon if you're a spotter. You've seen these type of fireworks before.
And I told you, I was expecting 267.5 or 270. We're seeing 267.5 for Ciel. He's a fighter. He wants more.
Oh, he's also a fighter. And what an excellent scrap for Ciel. 3 white lights. And that was as close as you get to perfect attempt selection.
Don't you see the resemblance with Penna being his coach? A grind and a grind.
Back-to-back grinds here on the platform. Silent worker 6.
Crazy display of strength and technique for all, both these athletes.
6 happens to be my favorite number. What do you know? Valentin, 282.5.
Very close to his PB, being 285.
And look, we talked about earlier, it's tempting to load up personal best to match him or best him, especially with a crowd like this and everybody that's shown up worldwide. We have world champions flying in, but Valentin, I think, the proper choice. Just take what you think is your top end on the day. If it's a 5 kilo jump, and I believe we said 5 kilos is probably appropriate.
Very reasonable. He was not so happy with the second, but he's definitely capable of hitting this one.
No, a little much. And you know what? The way 277.5 moved, 5 kilo jump was reasonable.
It
He
was a
loaded it
gamble.
up. Just a bit too much on the day. Take another look here. Yeah, you know what? It was probably on the line for depth as well.
And I feel like he was a bit too much on his heels for how he's supposed to squat. So not surprised. But now we are seeing a huge squat, Ryan.
Emil Krastov, Bulgaria's own and silver medalist, 307.5, 7.5 kilo jump. Just 5 kilos shy what he did early at Worlds.
This one's for you. No hesitation, all the way through. We need this one. Come on.
What do you think about that one?
I think he's on today. Oh, 2-1.
2-1.
And there will be no jury. So that is it. The expression on his face. And his handler looking for some reason. Let's take a look at this replay. Yeah, you know what? It's on the line. It's always going to be difficult with Emil. He's got huge quads. Difficult to see that depth. Up next, 83 kilo world champion, Jerens Kingamo.
Wow.
312 and a half.
He's loading more than he did at Worlds.
We were thinking 310. Now, if he hits this, how far can he push that total?
Oh, wow, Ryan.
For historical significance sake, Russell Orhe hit 860 at American Nationals. I'm not saying he's pacing for that, but if he is, what a statement that would be.
since he switched back to heels, his squat has been on the way up.
Let's go, Jay.
And we'll see what he can do with this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if it moves well.
That looks good. Oh, whoa! And he's got fight in him today. 312 and a half, pardon me. 310 was his best squat at Worlds, and that won him the world title. On fire here at Silent Worker.
Sa célébration qui est désormais déjà un classique.
Wow. And he didn't even need to silence the crowd for this one.
I am wondering, is Russell or he watching this today? Because if he's not, he will be sent the highlights, I'm sure. America's Brendan Petrie.
Wow!
322.5, 320 was his best at Worlds, inspired by Jerns Kingambu. Brendan Petrie says, load up my personal best.
What are we witnessing right now, Ryan? And do I see Sonita handling Brendan Petrie?
That is 84 plus world champion Sonita Mulu handling Brendan Petrie. It is nothing but world-class elite level powerlifting here today. And look at the intensity in Brendan's eyes. 322.5.
That's a bold move from Brendan Petrie. Give us a fight, Brendan. I was not expecting that jump.
You know what? Jerns surprising me, Brendan surprising me, but here we are.
Very important for the total.
Kept the there. Oh, and Brendan Petrie with a sensational fight locks it out. And look at the face of Brendan Petrie. I've never seen Brendan like this.
And look at the crowds. What did I tell you? They react to Brendan Petrie. They go crazy. What a squat, Brian. What was that?
What a sensational performance. Look at the expression of Brendan's face.
Where did this one come from? Crazy.
And we are going to take just a short 10-minute break. I am sure you're going to want to return for the bench press event. See you then. Penna, coming into this competition, we're just a week removed from the World Championships. I wasn't sure what to expect. Brendan Petrie, a PR squat. Jerns Kingambu, a PR squat. And you leave hitting the same squat you hit at the World Championships. What might we expect in the bench press and the deadlift?
So, at first we were all like, oh, it's just going to be a fun meet. And then I texted Petrie, I texted Jerns, and they were all like, oh, no, I'm going all in. And I was like, well, let's see what we can do with 10 days, 12 days of preparation. And, it's just enjoying the crowd, enjoying our sport, our passion. So what you can expect is none of us is going to go chill. We're all going to go all out on bench, all out on deadlifts. And who knows, we might see some unofficial world records or PRs. So that would be fun. That would be fun.
And the crowd showed up here today, standing room only. And after you missed your opener, it was that dicey conversation. If you were going to hold pace and give them a show, you were either going to retake your opener and finish with less than you anticipated, or you're going to move up instead. What was the inspiration and the thought process? Because you moved up anyways, which is bold.
You know, like I said, if I come here today and I do like 680, 690, which is 10, 15, 20 kilos off of what I did at Worlds, I'll be bummed. So I was like, you know, let's take the risk. I was sure I was going to make it, and sometimes that's the call you have to make as an athlete. So it turned out the good way, pretty happy about that, because I knew if I didn't have at least what I had at Worlds, I wouldn't be able to PR my total, which is my goal for today. So
I was just going to ask, I didn't want to put any pressure on you, but
Yeah.
PRing your total from Worlds 707.5,
yeah.
historically speaking, I had never seen that level in the men's side, a complete podium of 707.5. And if today you can best that, what kind of a message would that be?
You know, we all have our own circumstances, and we always have to do with what we have on the midday. But I know I'm much stronger than what I display at Worlds, and that would just be a sign of that. And hopefully send some messages, send some signals. I still believe I'm the best 66 in the world, and it's up to me to show it up to the world.
There was discussion about the attempt selection. Obviously, your second attempt deadlift solidified the World Games for you, and then the third attempt very close to that. Now, all that's off the table, and
Oh, yeah.
you were in a position you could just attempt select right up to a personal best.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do today. Obviously, strength is there because, again, just with 12 days of prep, I don't know what to expect. But if it's there, I'll definitely go for it.
And how about, and sorry, how are you for time? Because I know we got you in between sessions.
Oh,
You okay for a couple more?
Yeah.
Okay. As we eye the
Yeah,
clock,
yeah, we
man.
eye the clock.
A man of the people, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Are you able to watch? Did you see Gervins? Did you see Brennan?
That's insane.
I've never seen
that's
Brennan
insane.
as keyed up as that. The expression on his face, the grind he hit that with. Everyone's been saying how Francis welcomed him with open arms, and he's reciprocating.
100%.
And my God, is it not showing?
He almost outgrinded me, I think, on his last attempt.
He's turning into a French lifter.
Yeah, come on. We had some great squat grinds, and it just shows that as athletes we're inspired by the people, inspired by the crowd to just give our best, and I think that's our role as athletes. And as much as the sport is growing and professionalizing itself, it's time for us athletes to understand it's our job to make a show for the audience. Otherwise the sport will never grow, and I'm so happy and so proud to have all of these amazing lifters ready to battle it out at least like 10 days out from Worlds, after Worlds from there.
I 100% agree. I think that's the perfect way to end this and leave it on that note, is giving back to the sport, showing professionalism, and laying it all on the platform. And I'll also add this. It's early days, but if Jurins Kingamo can hit anywhere near 860, and he is pacing for a bigger total than the World Championships, Russ is going to be getting a lot of mentions.
100%. 100%. And
But-
not only that, but also Emil and Petrie won their rematch. I heard about going above 895, which is their world record in our weight class. So
Well.
we're up for some good shows.
895 is the equivalent of 707.5
100%.
in the 66.
Right now,
That's
yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm going to let you get back to it, my friend. You're a gem for coming out here like this. Always a tiger.
Time
Good
to
luck.
bench.
And we're back, and what a sensational squat event. I'm at a loss for words. I've done silent workers. This is my 3rd year now, but this is by far the best.
I've had a hard time catching my breath, but I've heard Panas told Brennan Petrie, "You stole my moment."
I mean, we had so many moments to prepare from Gerans, and also that reminds me, we have the listing of Gerans' weight a stitch off. Gerans Kingamu actually weighed less than 89 kilos, 85 and change to be exact. So just small weight cut away from the weight that he won the world championships in.
Which makes his squat even more relevant.
Right.
12.5 at 85 is a humongous squat.
Begs the question, where are we going to end up? 85 kilos now for Cami Hedges. Kemi has previously hit 92.5, but we're a weight class up. Wow. What do you think?
That's fast. That's very, very fast. Like, surprisingly fast, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked too. And the one thing about the bench press, obviously it gets heavy relatively quick, especially in the lighter weight women's category, but the way that moved, I think a PR might be on the table.
For sure.
So Van Powell, opening with 90 kilos.
She's in a love-hate relationship with bench. She gets medals, but she doesn't know how.
Right. Well, you know what? That's probably a pretty common and relatable relationship. She has hit the 97.5. What will she have on the day? And it's got to be said, talking about fights and lifters being inspired, with the way 170 moved, for her to move up to 180 and doing what she did, hats off to her. You know what? Okay.
It looks as it should, because she always slides a bit on the bench during the bench press, but that's how 90 kilos is used to move.
Look at, ordinarily, if I see that on an opener, I'm a little worried, but the way she handled the squat event, I'm not doubting anymore.
She's full of surprises.
117.5 for Julien. He's hit 120 before, and we're awfully close to that.
You can see the smile on his face. Come on, Julian, take bench seriously.
Oh, by the thirds, I'm sure all the smiles will be gone.
That's for sure. That looks a bit slow, don't you think?
Yeah, you know what? I was just about to say, I'd like to see the replay if we have it. No, we might not. But yeah, it was, for an opener, I'm not entirely, well, a small misgroove on the bench press, and a lot can be fixed up if you fix that misgroove. We'll put a pin in that conversation, but it'll be interesting to see, because we noted 117.5, just 2.5 kilos below his personal best, opening with on bench press. A bit bold, but we'll see how the second moves. Antoine Garcia, 120 for his opening bench. Now this, in contrast, 12.5 kilos below his personal best. And this is more what I'm used to seeing, especially on the bench press, opening quite a bit lower. Leave yourself some room to grow, not take any chances.
That looks deft to me. We're waiting on one referee.
Yeah, that's it. 3 white lights. We wait with bated breath sometimes when it comes to depth.
Absolutely.
However, a reminder, there is no jury. So if you see one red, we don't have to wait for the jury's possible intervention.
No stress, no overturns.
160 for Emmanuel. Rousseau. Emmanuel hit his opening squat, but had a rough second and third attempt. However, has he adjusted? Is he adjusting his numbers now and what he was thinking he wanted to hit in bench press coming into this event? A veteran ordinarily would, and he is a veteran of the game. Previously hit 175, opening with 160.
Not so bad. I think he adjusted, and I think 160 was the right call to open for Emmanuel. 3 white lights.
Yeah, and based off of the squat event, I would be okay with treading somewhat softly. 5 kilo jump, get some wins under your belt, and you can take a bigger jump for your third. But you do not want to go into the deadlift event going 1 squat, 1 bench press. Very difficult to turn that day around.
You need to build some momentum and some confidence.
I agree. 202.5. This is a monster opening bench, but this is a monster junior. Malik.
But he's not making the same mistakes as he did during junior nationals. He's lowered his opener. I feel like you'll be surprised, but this is supposed to be quite easy for Malik.
While he's a junior star, a lot of hype and expectations on this young man, but you had alluded to previous competition bombing out on bench. This could be some redemption, and wow.
Yeah, in the blink of an eye, it's up.
I barely could finish my sentence, and 3 white lights, redemption it is.
You
And
learn from your mistakes and you
right.
move on.
That's right, fair enough. And now he could build upon, and 202.5, it's got to be said, moved quickly. You see the expression on his face as he exits the bench. Confidence is back as De Rodin, otherwise known as Brutus, now takes the platform, opening with 210. Brutus taking us into the 300 kilo club earlier.
He's made some big improvements on bench. 210 for his opener. You'll see he's very fast on the way down, but he's also fast on the way up.
And you had mentioned improvements. Previous personal best 205, opening 5 kilos over your previous personal best on bench. It's daring.
But is it really?
Well, all right, so let's wait for the lights. Okay, let's make it official before. So he gets the opener. However, it's got to be said, a little bit of work for a bench press.
Where can he take this is the real question.
Right. I would be comfortable. Take small jumps. You're on the board. It was a big opener for him, obviously opening with your previous personal best. Show some gusto, but the way that moved, I'd be more comfortable 2.5 to 5 kilo jump from there.
Oh, really?
What are you thinking?
7.5.
Aha, you are French, aren't you? You love the grinds. Let's see what happens. Cami, 90 kilos, 5 kilo jump for her.
The opener was very, very fast. Lightning speed for Camille. How about this one?
Wow, moved a lot like the opener for me.
Still fast. 3 white lights. Very
And-
convincing.
Considering coming into this, 92.5 was her previous personal best. Cami making easy work in the bench press event. And you were just pointing some out to me, young man. What was it?
I've seen the second bench of Brutus being called, and it's 270.5.
And you know your French lifters, my friend. You know them so well, you can predict the second attempt. Let's see how it moves for him. But first, 95 kilos for Soph.
You see that typical slide of hers, and then it moves up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still on pace, despite some movement.
Not optimal, but it moves. But yeah, in France, some call me the nerd of powerlifting.
Ah, wow. We appreciate it, especially in the commentary booth. It came down also as we look at the replay, almost in parts to her chest. And as you had pointed out, a slide not far off the chest, but it's the way she benches. And no reason to get overly rattled by it. 122.5 for Julien, and this is 2.5 kilos over his personal best. Now, 117.5 is as his opener. We thought looked like some work. We were wondering. I thought maybe 2.5 kilo jump, but
He's
here we
French.
are. But he is French, my friend, and the French are bold. My goodness.
Right on the line for the command, I feel, but he gets 3 white lights.
Yeah, and Oh, look at the smile on his face, and he wipes his forehead. Woo! That was some work for a second attempt. Now for sure, 2.5 kilos for a start.
I agree.
Okay.
I definitely
Now we're on
agree
the
on
same
this one.
page. Take a look at the scoreboard as former world champion Antoine Garcia comes out 125 for his second attempt. Antoine again 132.5 previously. This is a 5 kilo jump. Should he make this look like a second attempt should? It's conceivable we'll be around 130 and start getting close to his top end. And his top end, good enough to win Worlds and medal just over a week ago. What are you thinking?
3 white lights is good. And if he ups that bench, he might be a problem during the World Games next year.
He's definitely going to be a problem. Yeah, I would say a 2.5 kilo jump, possibly 5.
I would bet on 2.5 this time.
I think that's probably the prudent choice, Emmanuel Rousseau. 170, 160 moved. A stitch of work. I was thinking maybe a conservative second attempt, but 10 kilos. He came here ready to fight.
He feels good to go for 5 kilos under his personal best in comp. He's a madman, I told you.
Wow.
And it goes up.
Maybe even better than his second. See, the butt might have rose. And from the booth, maybe on the replay we'll have it. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Well, let's see. Yes, perfect view for this. Thank you, Ramsey. Yeah, the butt definitely came up, if I'm honest. And I was gonna say that moved better than his opener, wondering why. Well, there it is.
That might be the reason.
And Malik, 212.5. 202.5 moved very well. 10 kilo
Wow.
jump.
For a junior 93, that's quite the bench.
Did 202.5 move as good for 10 kilos to be added? He's hit 221.
Wow.
You know what?
Snappy.
Barely slowed him down with that 10 kilos. I would not be shocked if we see a personal best. He's hit 221 before.
And usually it takes about 4.1 kilo jump. So we might see a 5 kilo jump from his second to his third. You want to
Yeah.
see more?
I'm not sure. Does usually his second attempts move like that?
No, it doesn't.
It'll be interesting to see. Brutus, 210. Now, I've got egg on my face several times. I thought a more conservative jump. You thought 7.5. Here we are, it's 7.5. Let's see how his second attempt moves.
It needs to move like a second if he wants to increase that bench on the third. Come on, Brutus, the crowd cheers for him. And I think he likes that new helico pad.
Oh, wow, what a fight at the end. And Brutus scraps it out. 3 white lights, 7.5 kilos it is. It begs the question, where do we go from here? Definitely
220, I don't think more.
leave it at 220. Yeah, his butt threatens to lift, but never fully off the pad.
But he's a giant human.
He is, that is no lie. 100% facts there.
He has the biggest hand I've ever seen, Ryan.
Talking to Brutus is like talking to a building. 95 kilos for Kemi Hedris. 5 kilo jump for her third and final bench press.
Looking to match Sovan's bench, since now they're in the same class.
Having a direct head-to-head with the world's medalist. This is a 2.5 kilo personal best for Kemi.
She grinded her third squat. What about the third bench? No grinds to be seen.
No, there's more there, and that's what happens sometimes when you go up a weight class and your strength is accumulating faster than you can even keep track. And right now, she's collecting those data points. 3 for 3.
And she's still light for 57.
97.5 kilos for Sylvain Powell. 2.5 kilo jump. 3 for 3 in squats. Can she go 3 for 3 in bench press?
And that will be to equal her personal best. Do not slide too much and keep pushing, Sylvain.
No, calls it off. And if you gotta miss a lift, at least she didn't expend too much extra energy. Called it off at the appropriate time.
I'm a bit sad because had she hit it, she would have dabbed. She wants to bring the dab back in fashion. That's her signature after bench. But we're not seeing any dab right now.
Not yet. Maybe it gets broken out in the deadlift.
I definitely hope so.
And here comes Julien. 225 kilos for his third and final bench of the day.
You called it. No more smiles, full concentration, and
He's gonna need
2.5 kilo jump.
Yeah, he's going to need that concentration. He's going to have to take those one all types of more serious top end weights. And look at 122.5, moved like it was top end. He had nowhere else to go, so he came out to 125. Hats off to him.
I don't think he left anything behind, so nothing to worry about.
Antoine Garcia, 127.5, also taking a 2.5 kilo jump, sensing the end might be near. And we're starting to see some misses.
We'll see if Coco with Antoine made the right call, because Antoine is coached by Corentin Clément. They were both at Worlds not so long ago, and the duo is back in action right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot of competitors fresh off of the World Championships, as well as coaching handling today. Wow, and you're starting to see that's how a world champion, world's medalist picks their attempts.
That's experience right there. You take what you have on the day and you move on.
Collecting those kilos and neatly adding them onto his total. Up next, Emmanuel Rousseau, 170 once again. He took a 10 kilo jump. It moved well, but his butt came off the bench. If he keeps his butt down, can he grind this one out?
He needs to make the adjustment if he wants to build his total, because as for now he's underperforming a bit, even though he's lighter than expected.
And that might have been a factor. Oh, it was work.
There's the grind you wanted.
3 white lights, and what a comeback. After going 1 for 3 in the squats, it means a lot to pick those kilos up in the bench press.
And benching twice, 5 kilo under your PB means something.
Brutus, 220, and we both thought this was the appropriate call to make based off of 217.5.
And if his technique is on point, it's possible that it goes up after his second attempt. That was a grind. Let's see if another gear kicks in right now for Antoine on bench. Antoine was also coached by Pana.
the brakes come on just before lockout.
For a second, I thought it would go up.
Very quick off the chest and was just about an inch away from that lockout. But when you have arms as long as Brutus, it's a long way up.
A huge range of motion.
Malik back 222.5, and we were wondering, will we see a personal best out of this young man? Personal best it is.
And you know what? This is an unofficial junior world record for bench.
World-class performances now. And what a story it would be from bombing out on bench to a world record, if unofficially. Wow, redemption it is for Malik at Silent Worker. From bombing out to coming back and unofficially hitting the world record.
He points at the bench and he's all smiles. That's great to see. A great redemption, as you mentioned. And he's definitely strong in this competition here today.
As we move directly into flight 2 with no break. This is the openers, and Turbo Tiff, 4-time world champion, will kick us off with 90 kilos.
She didn't get the bench she wanted at Worlds, only scoring our opener. Maybe it's another redemption we have.
Might just be, if she's inspired by what she sees. Played it somewhat conservative in the squat event. However, judging by how the bar path moved, looked like top end or relatively close to it.
I agree.
So where is her strength at in terms of the bench press? This might be an indication.
Oh, she's on. She's on.
It looks like the squat wasn't there. Oh, talked a bit too soon. What happened here? Do we have a slow-mo replay?
Might be the command.
Could be a butt lift.
Because the center referee can't see the bench. The bed, sorry.
Yeah, there was no butt lift.
I think she moved before the command.
Did she jump the bench? Well, I can't hear the commands.
The
over
re-rack,
here.
I think.
Was it? Okay. That's unfortunate because that moved so well. Now she has to have the conversation. Does she retake the opening weight, move up regardless on bench press? That's dicey.
I'm sure you can bet what she's going to do.
Ah, probably like Penna, right? They're cut from the same cloth.
I think so too.
Lichar 140. Maurice.
Unfortunately, Lishad had some issues with his shoulders recently, so his bench took quite the hit. But we'll see in the 66s how much strength he can retain on bench.
Wow.
Slow off the chest, but 3 white lights.
Previously hit 162.5. However, as we had indicated earlier, dropping down a weight class, and usually it is the bench press that is affected the most when it comes to weight class shifting. Expecting him to take relatively light jumps. As Dennis Sheridan, 150, CL.
Well, smiles for bench. That's an unusual scene.
What do you think for this opener? It's rather big for him.
I feel so too, but he's fresh off a personal best in training 10 days ago, 160.
Let's see how it moves on the day.
He's got quite the leg drive on him.
Yeah, that's for sure. You see the legs tense up and the entire body shift. Take a look, a perfect view. Leg drive kicks in, and wow, does he get some force out of that.
No butt lift whatsoever, undeniable.
162.5 for Penna. He came on the broadcast and boldly stated if it's there today, he'll go for an unofficial world record. At the very least, would love to best that 707.5. That was a 3-way tie at the World Championships, only broken on body weight
heartbreaking as a French.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
How about that opener for Pana?
For Pana, that was very fast. Lightning
Nice
quick.
and smooth.
Et c'est tremblant. Pour rappel, plus de 90% des athlètes qui se présentent aujourd'hui ont concouru
Amazing
lors
bench
du
from
championnat
Pana.
du monde il y a à peine 2 semaines.
Yeah, that's lightning
Et
fast.
la performance qu'ils sont en train de réaliser,
I'm expecting around 170 as a second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. 7.5 kilos. He can definitely grind if he needs to, and if he wants to pace himself for that unofficial world record, he's going to have to make some bold moves. As Valentin takes a seat for 170 himself.
Valentin, who's had some depth issue at the Arnolds, looking to correct that today. He's got a huge bench in the 83s. Let's see how this one moves.
Wow.
That's fast, right?
Well, the bar speed was quick, and the depth. 3 white lights.
I'm happy for him. Corrections made. Let's see how he can improve on this one.
175 for Britain's Jurens Kengamu, and he surprised us with this squat. 310 was his top end at Worlds, 312.5 today. At the World Championships, he opened with 172.5. Today, he opens with 175.
Will we see a bench battle between Jurens and Valentin?
And will we see a total bigger out of Jurens than we've seen at the World Championships just 10 days later?
Oh, wow.
We might.
We might. We might. Very easy opener for Jurens Kengamu.
Up next, Brennan Petrie shocked us loading 322.5 and also shocked us with the intensity of which he hit it, opening with 195. He opened with 197.5 at the World Championships.
I'm still in shock of his third squat, and I can't even imagine if he does the same thing with his third bench. Let's see how the opener moves, but he mentioned that he wanted to correct his bench because at Worlds he was struggling with the leg drive. We'll see today.
He's opening a little lighter on bench, but you know what? He's opened a little lighter in squat. Yeah, difficult to read on some of the openers.
I agree.
So he opened lighter on squat, but finished heavier. He opened lighter on bench. Will he finish heavier?
It begs the question.
Begs the question, my friend, as 225 being loaded for Emil Krasov of Bulgaria. Emil going 2 for 3 in the squat event.
Yeah, I think he's still hangry after getting red lights on his third squat. Maybe he'll pull bench then.
When it comes to pacing, this is what we've seen for his opener at World Championships. Handles it with ease.
Oh, wow.
At Worlds, he did a big 10-kilo jump after that. The way that moved, I would not be entirely shocked to see a 10-kilo jump for him. However, depends how tired he feels. Turbo Tiff up next, 97.5. And we do need to mention the pace of which we're turning around, and that might be why Brennan Petrie opens lighter, because he knows we're moving so quick. If I'm going to hit my top end, I can't do that 3 times in a row.
But that's a decision you can only make with experience, and it seemed to be working as far as we are now in the second bench press. And look at the move Tiffany made.
Yeah, she missed 90, and we had a discussion on it. Will she be like Penna and go up regardless? But to go up 7.5 kilos regardless. Now that's an all other conversation.
That was
risky.
our opener during Worlds.
Oh my gosh. I mean, my heart skipped a beat. Tiff, please. That, I mean, on bench press no less, 7.5 kilos is huge, and a lot can go wrong. And I understand at Worlds I was an opener, but her squat had come down, and we were wondering if her bench had come down. But here we are.
And a 7.5 kilo jump for 47.
Yeah,
is
for
huge.
a 47 no less
It's huge.
in the bench press event.
But it's Tiffany Chapon.
145. Yeah, it is Tiffany Chapon.
Sizable jump for Charlie. It was slow off the chest, but then it moved great. We'll see how 5 more kilos increases the difficulty for Charlie.
Charlie struggled in the squat event. Can he make the adjustments? Oh, he looks like he got his second attempt. The judges agree, but it was a bit of a fight.
Slow off the chest, and he kept pushing, kept the trajectory right, and it ended up in 3 white lights for Charlie.
155 now being loaded for Ciel.
He's pacing. He's pacing for 160.
He needs to hit this and make it convincing to have the 160 loaded.
I mentioned earlier he wants to beat Panna today. It will be quite the task on bench, but maybe in total.
My friend, many have tried and many have failed.
Oh, yeah.
Now, of course, he wants to beat Penna. He is a weight class and technically has a 78, a weight class and a half up.
True.
You want to do battle with Penna head to head, you better have the last name Kasim San. And even then, you got a fight on your hands.
And still that leg drive goes through.
Yeah, that moves well. Yeah, he gave the indication. It looks like 160 it is.
Typical head nodding. He's pacing for 160, definitely.
Penna, 172.5 for his second attempt. At the World Championships, this was his second attempt as well.
That's quite the jump.
It is. It's 10 kilos in the 66s. But this is Penna we're talking about. Can he move this more convincingly than he did at Worlds? And will he end up with 175 or more today?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he calls on the
Asking
crowd.
for the crowd's energy. That's very contagious as a lifter on the platform.
I tell you what, if it's Penna in France, they're going to reciprocate.
I can't even count how big is the crowd, but we are many in this room.
I heard 10,000. I heard 10,000.
It's a stadium out here. 10-kilo jump for the Grind King. The opener was fast, but it was quite low for Panna.
There's a hiccup. It paused. I'm not sure if it went up, down, but it definitely paused for a moment. 3 white lights.
10-kilo jump. No worries.
Yeah.
No
Let's take
worries.
a look at this replay. Look at the body shift as he struggles and fights, but never loses composure. And now I agree with the call for sure. There was slow down, a possible pause, but not a down up.
Yeah,
and
no down.
likely another 2.5-kilo jump, just like he did at the World Championships, I think. Valentin, 180. And if Penna is pacing himself, perhaps it's just the deadlifts he changes in terms of attempt selection from Worlds.
I won't break the suspense right now, but I have a few information.
Okay.
He struggled with grip for some reasons, but I'm going to mention them later on.
Keep them in your back pocket for now, Valentin. 180.
Wow, that's still very fast for Valentin.
It is 10 kilos, and he handles that jump well.
And I mentioned the possible bench battle between Jorins and Valentin. I mean, there's room to go.
Speaking of Gerins, 182.5 endurance. While Valentin might have his eye on Gerins, Gerins has his eye on history.
Oh yes, he's pacing for a huge total, even bigger maybe than what he did at Worlds,
This
where he
is
broke the world record.
2.5 kilos more than his second attempt at Worlds. Can he hold pace? Wow.
Okay. Okay.
You know what? After his opener, I thought this jump and maybe the pace might catch him. Not today.
His name is already engraved in history, and he feels like he has room to improve. That's crazy, but it looks to be true.
A father has a full-time job, mid-30s, and still hitting personal bests, as well as collecting world titles.
Very inspirational, to be fair. Very
Brennan.
inspirational.
I'll agree with you. Brennan Petrie, 205 for Petrie. Brennan, if you're wondering, hit 207.5 at Worlds, but we saw earlier today he was hovering just below the world mark and then exceeded it in his third. I think I see a pattern here.
I feel so too. His opener was hard to read, as you mentioned. This one will speak much. Oh, wow.
It was work. Now, does he take a 2.5 kilo jump, or does he go for the 210 that he hit at Worlds?
I feel like he's going to go bold, hit the 5 kilo jump, and kick another gear.
If, based off of his third squat, and I've never seen Brennan that keyed up, that locked in, if he comes in that locked in for his third bench, he'll have it. But he'll probably need it for another 5 kilos. And Emil Krastev, 235 for his second attempt. Emil at the World Championships on fire right up until his last deadlift. And Emil at the World Championships, 235 for a second attempt there. Ooh. Emil, not quite on pace for the Worlds.
Still one more to go.
He does have one more to go. He can regroup, collect himself, and right that wrong. And if anybody can, it's a lifter like Emil Krastev.
And this battle between Petrie and Krastev is very hard to predict today.
It is, yeah. I mean, a lot can happen in a week and a half.
Oh,
Petrie came to France early and adapted, and apparently has been inspired by the French.
I talked to him during the little break, and he said, hell yeah, I feel at home. Look at this crowd.
I talked to him during the break. He had a French accent.
Oh,
I kid you not.
wow.
You believe that? You believe that? I kid you not. Turbo Tiff, 100 kilos even.
She jumped to 102.5 during Worlds, which did not happen correctly. So 100 it is.
This is her personal best. Can she equal that today? 97.5 moved well for Tiff.
And there it is.
Wow. As she skips off the platform, a convincing 100 kilos today. And when you're in the 47s, that jump between 100 kilos and 102.5, those are very big jumps in the
It
bench
makes
press
a
round.
world of
That's right.
difference.
That's right. It looks like she's getting closer and closer to making that jump on the platform. Perhaps next time, but first, Charlie, 147.5. I think this is the prudent call. 145 was top end.
Allez, t'en es capable, Richard, tu vas la faire, allez.
Wow, is that background music just kicking up just in the nick of time for this? If this is a movie, Charlie is set up.
Looks like he has goosebumps on the platform of this music.
He's set up for a big finish to his bench press event.
Come on, Charlie.
Allez, on va
Give us a fight.
Ah,
Oh wow, a bit too heavy for today.
it was going to be a big ask with the way 145 moved.
145 validé par Charlie, qui ne perd que 2,5 au passage.
160 being loaded for CL. We saw the pacing earlier. 150 needed to move like an opener. It did. 155 needed to be convincing. It was. And here we are. 160, he wanted it.
He's one determined guy, that's for sure. And I told you, the caillou, the stone.
The crowd's behind him.
Allez, t'as entendu, Ciel, hein, les gens là sont là pour toi. On va tout donner sur ce dernier essai.
If this goes as planned, the crowd will go crazy, and so will Ciel. He only hit it once in his life. The second time would be on the platform.
Will it be official? Oh, it's a fight! It's a scrap, but it looks like
And watch him go crazy.
it's official.
Merci, monsieur. Que sans faute qui continue.
And that's what you love to see.
Le golem.
An interaction from the lifter with the crowd. The celebration.
The momentum he got off the chest, but after that, the fight came and he was good for it. Now, 175 being loaded for Penna. 175 was his third attempt at Worlds. Penna pacing himself to potentially hit a PR total.
I can't even imagine how it feels to receive that much cheer from the crowd. It must feel amazing, and that's why he grinds so much. He wants to give it all for the crowd.
He's gonna need it. 172 was a lot of work.
Allez, Pana. On va le fournir cet effort. Allez.
And you can see many lifters in the tent wanting to watch Penna because they know he gives it all, they know he grinds. And everyone is rallying behind Penna.
Oh, he calls it off. And it's 2.5 kilos. So on the deadlift, it'll be interesting to see how they do with their attempt selection. If breaking 707.5 is the goal, that's 2.5 more kilos they'll have to load up.
They might do it on the second this time.
We'll
It'll
have
be
to see.
very interesting.
Yeah, Jurens Kangamo up next. 185 for Jurens. Back at the World Championships, it was 185 for his third and final there. I think based off of 182.5, this is a good choice. He got some extra kilos on the squat. Bench press, he opened heavier than he did at Worlds, but the turnaround seems to be quicker here. And I think it's slightly caught up to him, and he's adjusting appropriately.
I agree, and he's collecting kilos. And it goes up.
Oh, wow, you know what? That move's so smooth, he might have had 187.5. I gotta be honest.
More.
He might have. I think he made the right decision, though.
Yeah, it was the sensible decision to collect kilos and build the total. And he had even more in the deadlift event at Worlds. So
That's right. I
I'm
mean,
expecting big things from him.
20/20 hindsight, but he looked like he had more. But before the bench, I thought, yes, 185 the way his second move. But you're 100% right. We thought he had more on deadlift at World Championship. Could we see it here on the platform at Silent Worker? 187.5 for Valentin, equaling his previous personal best.
And I know he'll be very happy with this one, so that's why I want him to hit it on the platform.
Oh, Oh, looked like there's a pause, but he completes the lift. And the judges give it to him, 2-1.
Since
Again,
there's
no jury.
no stress.
You know, coming off of Worlds and so many days of Worlds, I'm so used to seeing one red and giving a pause and waiting for the possible jury verdict. No jury here. And Brennan Petrie, calm, cool, and collected, 212.5. Brennan, 210 was his third bench at Worlds. What is he pacing for today?
We were questioning what he would do, and he takes the bold route again.
205 was work, but he found another level in squats. He's gonna need to find another level here in the bench press.
De la 6e édition du Silent Worker Meet. Et quelle belle édition, quel plateau fourni.
I'm holding my breath, Ryan.
Come on, up, 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 up.
Oh, just a little too much.
Yeah, this time it won't go. Maybe 210 was the move, but it's too late now. Heads on to deadlift.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He's got to leave it behind him as we take a look at this replay. Fast off the chest. And for a moment there, it appeared as though he might pull it off, but the brakes came on around the midpoint. Brendan, couple kilos up in the squat, few kilos down in the bench. We'll see what happens in deads. But first, Emil Krastev missed 235 on his second, retaking it here on his third. Emil, 237.5 at the World Championships. If he could hit this, he's not far behind.
Gave a few more indication for the liftoff. Maybe this time he'll feel better.
It can make a difference.
Come on, come on.
Not today.
Ah, on peut tout de même applaudir une très belle prestation à 225 kg.
Still 225 as a 93. That's huge, but that's below what is
Ce qui conclut donc notre
before,
session.
what he did before, sorry. So we'll see how he can react during the deadlift event.
And with that, we will take a short break. I am told we might have an interview once again in the intermission. 10 minutes until the deadlifts. And fellas, thank you for joining me. Brennan, I have never seen you this keyed up for a third squat. The intensity on you, what was going on in that third squat?
Well, I was feeling good, and the main thing that I said to myself is that, like, if I'm gonna be here and I see Pana grinding and I see all the other French people grinding, it's like, then I better grind as well. So I can't embarrass myself and fail a squat. So I was like, let me load something that is a PR in a meet, and then let me go ahead out there and get it. So when I came out the hole, like, I was already like, having that in my head, like, I'm not feeling, push, push, push. And I got out of the hole, and I was just like, nah, quads, like, do it. And then I knew I was gonna have it. As soon as I got out of the hole, like, I knew I wasn't gonna give up. So I needed that.
I believe you had that conversation because you squatted long enough to have that conversation. Gerrans, you are pacing yourself for a monster total. If anyone thought you guys are coming in here and you're gonna phone it in, that's way out the window now. How is the statement going? And was this on the table for you coming in?
Yes and no, right? Because I just flew in today. So it was one of them ones like, let me take my face attempt first, see how I feel, and then we'll load over 300. If my first attempt was a little bit funny, I would have gone bring me 295 and then just call it a day. But the way that 287 moved, and I said to myself, I misgrooved it. I could have moved it faster than that. And again, thank you to Christoph. Sonata's fiance is handling me. He was like, fuck no, we're not going 295. We're going all the way. I was like, mate, that's my boy, let's go. Yeah.
The pace is incredibly quick here. Are you guys adapting to the pace? Both of you guys had lower opening attempts in World Championships, but finishing higher. Is this a strategy to adapt to this pace?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it's a fast-paced meet. Like, you don't really know, like, what to expect with the strength with a 1-week taper after just competing last week. So I think everyone decided to open up light, and then depending on how that went, just took it attempt by attempt by attempt. And if we're feeling good, hey, we're going to send it. And then if we don't feel good, I mean, for me, I still sent it on bench, but, try to be smart sometimes.
And Gerrans, how about yourself? Is adapting to the pace, opening lighter, finishing higher, is that something you're looking forward to as well?
For the squat, yet. For the squat was a plan for me to start a little bit 2.55 kilo lighter than world, because as I said, I just flew in today, so I didn't know how my body would adjust. Luckily, I had a 5-6 hours nap. That has helped. But the pace, we're used to it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not complaining about the pace. They could probably go a little bit faster, so I wouldn't care, to be honest.
And everyone said you had more on your deadlift at the World Championships. What are we looking at here today?
I think we just have to wait and see after that opener, and we see where it is. So I came here to have fun. Fun is what I'm going to give the fans, and I'm going to give the guys watching at home. It is what it is, as Brandon said, after the first opener, second, we see how we feel, and we send it. And it is what it is, isn't it?
I think that's a perfect way to end this. Let's see what happens with the openers and see if you boys drop the hammer and send it. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to let you get back there and start warming up. Amazing show so far.
All right, see you.
Thanks.
And what a show it has been so far. Talking to some of the lifters, almost don't know what to expect. Jurens himself, Brennan himself don't know what to expect. They said they're gonna take their openers and use it as a range finder, if you will, for their second and third attempts. I pressed Jurens. I thought he had more on his final deadlift at the World Championships. Will we see him load up more today? But
I hope so.
Jurens, not showing all of his cards, said, we'll see what happens with my opener.
Maybe both Petrie and Jurens didn't want to say too much.
Well, they're keeping it tight-lipped for now. Cami, 172.5 for her opening deadlift. She's hit 185 before, but Cami, relatively new to this weight class, enjoying some new gains.
Looking smooth.
Looking smooth and on the board. She's 7 for 7 on the day and already solidified her total. As Sylvain, 180 for her opening pull.
Sylvain has made some great progress in the deadlift event, but she has not showcased it yet because she missed her third, but the strength is there. We'll see what she can pull today.
Opening with 180. Makes easy work of it. At the World Championships, opened with 190, but finished at 200. We'll see where she finishes today.
230 pour Antoine Garcia.
Antoine Garcia, 230 kilos for his opening pull.
Barre chargée.
He's hit as heavy as 255.
And that's an opener that seems that it can lead to that kind of load, so we'll see.
You could see a pathway to 255. I talked to Brendan and I talked to Jurens about this pacing. They said it's nothing they haven't felt before. They can adapt. Garcia himself, a grizzled veteran.
True.
And if the pace is tough, likely to adapt. 230 moved well. What do you think?
It moved great. It doesn't look as fast as it did during Worlds, but it's not Worlds, so it's fine. Maybe he'll go up a gear in the second. But I'm surprised.
232.5 for Julien Gutierrez.
I'm surprised to see Julien open after Antoine. That's a first.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, you know, Julien would love at some point a changing of the guard. That's a tall order. It moves smooth, though.
C'est facile pour Julien.
It did. It did. Julien worked a lot on his grip strength recently, and the deadlift went up. I can't wait to see what he pulls today.
On the total so far, 572.5 for Antoine Garcia, 560 for Julien. Relatively tight considering Garcia taking medals at the World Championships shows you just how class Julien is himself. And 260. Triolet.
No belt. I've seen him pull sumo hook grip, but now it's conventional and mixed grip.
Yeah, and no belt.
We've seen it all from Malik, but I know he was injured quite some time ago. Maybe he's still a bit today.
We're well below his personal best of 312.5. He might take some big jumps after that opener, but likely depend how he's feeling. 290 now for Emmanuel Russo.
Talking about big jump, that's what Emmanuel did today. Did not work so well. Let's see if he strategized differently in the deadlift event.
Allez, Manu.
Left the squat event with just his opener. On the bench press event, left 2 for 3, missed the second, rebounded to hit it on his third, and here we are. 290 for his deadlift opener, looking to solidify his total.
tout de suite dedans, dès la première. Allez.
Quite a bit of work off the ground, don't you
Yeah,
think?
he doesn't look overly pleased himself as he shakes out his left hand. Hopefully it's not injured, but he does solidify his total.
I'm curious to see what it would look like in terms of GL points compared to what he did as a 105.
It might have gone up. We'll have to see where he ends up. 335 for Antoine.
Il aura d'ores et déjà un gros PR de plus 27,5 au total par rapport à sa meilleure performance.
He has hit 340, only 5 kilos below that on his opener.
Recently switched to conventional from semi-sumo,
Oh, wow.
and it seemed to be working for him.
Yeah, he had a big squat event. Looks like he's pacing for a big deadlift event as well. PR squat, PR bench. Can we see a PR deadlift? The way 335 moved, I'd be shocked if we don't.
I can see that, definitely. At the last silent worker meet in the winter, he missed to 352.5 on the third, so he was able to load that in the winter.
Right back at Cami, we are only 7 lifters. Very, very quick turnaround here in the deadlifts. And while you might have held pace in the squat, and the bench press doesn't tax you as much, by the time deadlifts rolls around, that's when the fatigue will set in. Cami, 5 kilos below a personal best.
I talked to her during the break. She was not as sure about her deadlift as she was in terms of squat and bench, but it seemed to be on point today.
I would say 185 is probably available today, which will obviously give her a PR total.
And equaling our PR deadlift.
Not a bad day.
Sounds good to
Sylvain,
me.
195. Well, 200 kilos is her previous personal best. Wouldn't be shocked if we see that loaded for her final pull.
And you know what? I think we're going to see a bit more than 200 today. For
Think
the
so?
first time on the platform.
202.5?
Maybe, or 205, I don't know.
Oh, wow. Julien, 242.5 for his second attempt. This is a personal best if he can hit it.
Grip strength is on point today for Julien. It should go up. Let's go.
It'll bring his total to 570.
Allez Julien, on y va.
And he's very close to the 59s.
Allez.
That's a world-class total for Julien.
Il est toujours bien dans la compétition, Julien. La barre est bonne.
3 white lights and Julien
Et c'est un nouveau
building a case.
PR au total pour Julien.
New PR total for Julien.
Antoine Garcia, 245. 10 kilos below his personal best.
Chargé à 245.
15 kilo jump though, it's sizable. Particularly in the 59 kilo class, and we're just barely above that today.
It was his opener at Worlds a few days ago. It's his second today.
Un total à 582,5.
Taking his time, setting up properly.
Looks like an appropriate second attempt.
It's good to me.
Now the question is, does he load up a personal best? 5 kilos below?
I don't think we'll see a personal best today, but maybe like 252.5.
I think 250 to
250.
252.5 is
Va charger.
probably available as
Allez Malik.
280. 20 kilo jump, so looks like that 260 was a bit of an easy opener just to test that potential injury, see where he's at, and judging by the 20 kilo jump, He's feeling confident. Wow.
Doesn't seem to slow down.
I would say another 20 kilos is there if he wants to load it.
I surely hope so.
310 kilos maintenant. 310 kilos pour Emmanuel Rousseau. Un jump de 20
Speaking of 20 kilo jumps, Emmanuel Russo,
chargé.
310.
I feel like the opener was a bit of work off the ground. We've seen him make big jumps. I hope this one is the good one.
Are you surprised by the 310?
A bit so.
Emmanuel, on y va.
If he was on point today or at weight, I wouldn't be so surprised, but I 96 and looking at how the first moved, I'm a bit surprised. But make me lie, Emmanuel, come on. For the president of one of the branch of the Team Kostok, he needs to show up.
Allez, on s'accroche.
Oh, it's work off the ground again, but gets it to the top. It looks like a titanic effort, but 3 white lights and 20 more kilos onto his total.
2 for 2 is not a look we've seen from him today, so that's good.
That's right. He's pacing and gathered himself well for the final event. Potentially going 3 for 3 for the first time today at Antoine Brutus de Rodin.
Wow,
350.
a huge PR.
Coming into the event, PR was 340 and 350 is his second attempt.
My mind can't seem to comprehend that math. Oh, wow.
And there's more there today.
Super, ça attend de voir.
That was fast.
Heureusement, manque de verrouillage.
Oh.
Unanimité.
Oh,
3 reds.
maybe shoulders.
I'm gonna need to see that replay if it's available.
Knees, shoulders, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? Now that we look at the replay
I think shoulders.
a little closer, the shoulders just weren't convincing. From the booth, we're quite a bit further away. But once we see the replay and the cameras on the platform, he's going to have to get those shoulders back.
But what do you do now, looking at how fast it moved? Do you go up? Do you retake it?
I would be, it's a PR. I'd be fine in that case, retaking the PR weight. It's going to be a PR total, clinch it. And
That makes
Cami,
sense to me.
185, matching her PR, but we'll give her a PR total. 440 if she can hit this.
Bien finir la compétition, Camille.
The same setup as usual.
Longtemps, Camille, longtemps. Allez.
First bit of tension, and then it goes up. Ah,
You had said deadlifts weren't moving like the other lifts, but still leaving with a very respectable 435. And Cami, it should be
still a PR
noted,
total.
PR total, and it should be noted, while she's campaigning as a 57, still hasn't fully grown into that weight class, weighing in at 54.5. Let's see what she does when she fills out 57. And up next, 205.
I'm
for
glad to see I know
Sylvain.
my teammates.
That you do. It's an ambitious final lift of the day. 5 kilo personal best. And we know she could fight if she needs it. Oh, wow. 205 it is.
And the one time she puts baby powder on, it goes up. She usually deadlifts without baby powder. She's a fighter, Sylvain. Crazy.
That actually equals her previous personal best in terms of total. And some of these lifters, fresh off of the World Championships, showing up here at the silent worker meet and leveling up despite the fatigue. Julien, 247.5, which would bring his total to 575 as a 59. That is playable at all levels.
That's world class, to be fair. But we have Antoine.
5 kilo jump.
I like the call. I like the 5 kilo jump.
Allez, Julien.
Not too ambitious to reach
Vous
to
voulez plus que
50.
cela, Julien, allez.
Make the jump
On se fait confiance.
Make
je
the
sais que tu as
attempt.
Technique et courage.
and
Allez.
increase the total.
Jusqu'au bout, Julien. Allez, allez, longtemps, allez.
Too much on the day.
Allez, Julien,
Total
tu
stays at a
laisses
respectable
repartir tout de même avec un
570.
total PR. Une belle compétition pour Julien aujourd'hui. Et voyons voir maintenant si les 255 d'Antoine vont être verrouillés.
Up next, 255 for Antoine
Pas
Garcia.
changé pour Antoine Garcia.
And it looks like we were wrong. He loaded up more than we were expecting.
Yeah, this is his previous personal best.
And he asked the crowd for support.
Je régalais son record. Je suis le père.
So back-to-back competition, back-to-back 255.
Hit this just days ago at the World Championships in Lithuania.
Allez Antoine, allez, allez.
Oh, too much on the day though.
Ah, ce sera un peu trop lourd pour
I could see his
aujourd'hui.
deadlift was not as strong as it was at Worlds, but he made the jump because it was way ahead of Julien.
Also inspired by the crowd, the hometown crowd, loading up, putting on a show. And 302.5 for Malik. He's hit 312.5. The way 280 moves, I thought 20 kilo jump, probably appropriate.
You called it. You
22
called
and a
it.
half, not far off that.
Maintenant pour Malik, un jump de 20.
I think it's reasonable.
Let's see if he made some grip improvements.
Et pour un total à
That was
800
his struggle
tours, pas
lately.
chargé pour Malik Triolet. Allez Malik.
If he hits this, it'll give him that even 800 kilo total.
A nice and well-rounded total for Malik.
On la tient de A à Z, c'est là Malik. On va la chercher.
Corrected the squat. He went crazy on bench. It's time for the third deadlift for Malik. Let's go.
Wow. Uh-oh. And that was a rather long down command.
Ouais, malheureusement, mais tout de même.
And unfortunately, this one's a no lift.
I think they were waiting for the shoulders to be completely back as we take a look at this replay.
Le record du monde au développé couché avec
Oh yeah, the shoulders just
Yeah.
weren't entirely
A bit of a
convincing.
wobble at the top.
Yeah, they wanted to see him correct those shoulders, and he was unable to,
330
as
sur la
330 kilos now. Emmanuel
Oh,
Russo,
wow.
20 kilo jump. He did a 20 kilo jump from his opener.
And that's what you call going out on your shield.
You come back with your shield or on it. Emmanuel tempting fate.
The Mabul, as we call him, it will be big time if he hits this.
A personal best. Can he find the inner strength?
We can even see the spotters cheering him on. The crowd is expecting a battle from Emmanuel. Come on, Mr. Mabul.
Bravo Manu. Bravo Manu. Allez.
And he
Oh,
tries,
wow.
he tries, but
Allez, on va tout donner, s'il vous plaît. Applaudissons.
It was
ensemble
ambitious.
Pour la dernière fois, Emmanuel Rousseau, qui quittera la plateforme avec une barre à 310 en dernier essai.
And Brutus, 350, went up smooth, but he couldn't get his shoulders back. 355, it would give him a total of 872 and a half. If he hits it, massive gain. If he misses, falls all the way back to 852 and a half.
which is already a PR, but way under what he's capable of.
Can he get those shoulders back?
He needs to score this attempt. He needs to score this PR and secure a way bigger total. The crowd loves him. He asks for their support, and they give it right back. Time to shine, young man. Come on.
The crowd cheers him on. Fast off the floor. Can he get the shoulders are back this time?
Let's see the referee's leg.
3 white The proper adjustments, and Brutus grabbing those kilos, refusing to fall behind.
Bold move. What an adjustment. Not easy to do with 355 in the hands.
Now we're moving directly into flight 2, and you gotta wonder, if you're the handlers and athletes in flight 2, if you were watching what happened to the first flight, how the fatigue started coming in, if they're going to adjust their attempt selection, lower openers, take big jumps. Turbo Tiff opening with 160 and 162 and a half is what she opened up at the World Championships, and you were pointing out, forecasting for first.
Not surprised, to be honest.
Well, when you're a living legend like Turbo Tiff, you kind of have a pattern of coming in first, don't you?
Absolutely, but she's the first athlete to open during this fight, so she does not have the tactical advantage.
That's right, her being the lightest lifter in the smallest weight class. All the other lifters are coming after her.
We might see some come from the behind pulls. Some Hail Marys to try and reach for the victory. But that's what we live for.
But she's the only woman in this flight, actually.
Yep.
I think I'm going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors while I have a moment. Obviously, Silent Worker putting this meet on, flying out all the lifters, including myself. Top Shelf Production by White Lights Media and SBD.
And to solidify the total, 160 for Tiffany Chapon. Let's hit the turbo. Let's go.
Allez, Tiff. Gros démarrage, allez.
Oh, wow.
Smooth opener for Turbo Tiff.
That's trouble for every other lifter of the flight.
On va recharger à 245 maintenant pour Charlie Mérès.
Charlie up next, 245 for his opening pull.
Catégorie des moins de 66. Et la barre est chargée pour Charlie. Allez mon gros, il en reste 3 avant de finir la compétition. Et ça commence maintenant.
Charlie, 3 white lights, gets himself on the board and solidifies his total. And if you're wondering how this is scored, it's off GL points. Top 5 all around, not men's, not women's, but clustered together. Turbo Tiff in the lead.
And very difficult to dethrone. But not impossible. We have some world-class athletes in this flight.
Valentin, 250 kilos.
In French, we say la crème de la crème, the top of the top. Oh, snappy. Very fast from Valentin.
Il a écrit sa légende grâce à ses grinds monumentaux et notamment au terre. La barre est chargée à 260 pour Panayotis. Allez!
260 kilos for the legend, Panagiotis. Makes easy work at 260. Opening 10 kilos less than he did at the World Championships.
But I'm expecting bigger jumps because he had struggled with his back and grip strength during the preparation for Worlds. But since he's been back, I feel like grip is back too.
And he had hinted at adjustments in the deadlift event. Perhaps lowering the opener and going all in on that second and third. Sheridan, 285.
And you can see the crowd is singing Caillou, Caillou for our guy. He's a fan favorite for sure. Ciel, et qui, the Caillou.
The biggest opener of Ciel's career.
He has all eyes on Malta for Worlds. And he's prepping for sure.
Steps over the bar with confidence.
On va essayer de pousser le total le plus possible. En parlant de gros
315 kilos being loaded for Emil Krastev of Bulgaria. Emil
et la barre est chargée. Let's go, Emil.
lowering his opener than when he hit at Worlds. Adjusting to the day. Let's see how 315 moves. Wow, that was fast.
Et ça, c'était un
Plenty more where that came from.
Well done, Emil. More to come, I'm sure. Lui aussi a écrit
Jurens
l'histoire.
Kingamu, 317 and a half. This is exactly where he started at the World Championships. He said in the interview during the intermission, he will load up the opener, see how he feels on the day, and based off of that,
77,5 pour Jurens Kingamu.
lay out his battle plan. Let's see how 317.5 moves.
Come on, man.
We are expecting big things from Jurens.
Right now.
Since his famous move, shushing the crowd.
Wow.
Plenty of more where that came from.
3 white lights. And the top 5 right now, Tiff, Petrie, Sov, Jurens, and Emil. Petrie, 335. Now that's the top 5. Should Brennan hit this, and we're expecting him to hit his opener. But there could be a shakeup. A lot of lifting still to go in the second and third attempts. Petrie opened with 337 and a half at Worlds. We're real close to that.
And in his words, he can't wait to get back to a feeling where he feels like he can pull 370. He called it, he wanted to do that today. We'll see, based on this opener, if he can pace for this one.
This would bring him up to 862 and a half.
Wow. Based on the opener, that's a huge total.
Easy weight.
Wow, that's easy weight for him.
C'était facile. Et la barre est bonne.
Yeah, 3 white lights.
Allez, fin du premier tour. Pour l'instant, en 5e position à 107,83, Emil Krastev.
I'm not surprised. I've seen him hit a 320 triple on Thursday it was, so he's on point in the deadlift event.
167.5 for Turbo Tips. Brennan hit 887 and a half at the World Championships, but he's hit as high as 895 back at US Nationals.
He had the bar of victory in his hands.
That's right, everybody pulling for the title just a week and a half ago. Of course, that was Gustav Hedlund.
We almost had a second podium at 3 exact same total. That would have been crazy.
Turbo tip, 167 and a half. 5 kilos below her personal best.
Allez, Tiff. Allez, Tiff, c'est au mental là. Dedans, dès le début, dedans. Allez!
Wow.
Ah, c'est bien fait.
For 5 kilos below her personal best, she's pacing well.
And she's not doing sumo all that often as we speak, so sumo moving like that is a great sign for Tiffany,
Has she switched from sumo in training?
because sumo hurts her hips a bit, so she's doing more conventional as we speak. But sumo moving like that is a great sign.
Charlie, 260. He's hit 300, of course. That was as a 74. Adjusting to his new weight class. Adjusting to lifting in the open.
And a 6 kilo body weight difference is huge. Before a deadlift specialist, maintaining the strength would be key to build a total. Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
Ah, on peut applaudir
Spotters
Charlie.
and loaders.
Il a fait l'effort de cutter dans
Rushing
cette
into the
catégorie
system.
66. Bien évidemment,
Maybe
les
cramping a bit from the cut.
It
The
appears
back
as
being
though
a bit iffy,
74 kilos.
that cut is having its effect on him.
for sure. But it being a first time is not so surprising, and it's a friendly meet, so
Pour l'instant, c'est pas
Well,
grave.
tell
not
that
so
to
bad.
Penna Giotis it's a friendly meet, because Penna loading up 280 kilos.
oh wow.
This will put him at 700 kilos even.
80 kilos. Faites du bruit pour Penna.
And I mean, we
Fre-
can already expect big things on the third, because he called something out. He said he wanted to push unofficially the world record today, so we know what's to come.
The feeling of Penna Giotis lifting in France is hard to describe. The crowd on their feet, chants of Penna.
On continue à construire le total.
He's the ambassador. His energy is very contagious. The crowd feels it. And they give it right back. Come on, Penna, let's go!
Oh, breaks the floor. 700 kilos it is. And I think we know where we're going next.
Absolutely, Ryan.
He's gonna load up for 710 at minimum, possibly
Wow.
more.
De la part du double champion du monde.
I'm hyped to see this, Ryan.
707.5 was that number. All 366s on the podium at Worlds hit it. Only body weight separated them. Penna wanting that Sheffield wild card. Penna wanting to separate himself from his rivals. I would be shocked if he doesn't look to break that three-way tie here today.
Absolutely. And the world record being 710.5 from Kasim Sen, am I right?
Does he load up 712 and a half, or does he go for the 710? Now I'm interested.
Does he go for the 710 or for the 712.5? Now I'm
That's it.
interested.
Yeah, that's exactly it. 280, Valente.
$30 jump from Valentin. That's quite the jump.
That is a monster jump, but handles it well. That moved not much slower than his opener despite 30 kilos. And we're talking about what will Penna load? 290, which will give him 710. To be honest, I like it. He could have gone for the unofficial world record, but if we're keeping track of unofficial world records, and that's a difficult thing to do, Jonathan Garcia did more of that at the American Nationals.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
even unofficially, doesn't really mean as much. 710, on the other hand, breaks the three-way just a week and a half later.
And he makes a lot of sense for a white card decision right after Worlds.
297.5 CL.
And it's hard for me to contain myself as I hear the crowd yell Caillou, because that's my guy right there.
You're doing a good job. Through and through professional, my friend.
He's hit more on the platform once at the Pyrenees Cup in Spain.
Smooth second attempt.
Oh, wow.
As he steps over the bar with disdain for the weights. Load it up.
And he's a showman. In French, he said, "Y a plus après," which means there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
more.
In the limited French I got, I know that. And 325 for Emil Krastev. Emil forecasting for the top 5, but it's heavily contested. As we speak, top 5, Tiff, Petrie, Sov, Panagurans, and Emil just outside. Wow, and he literally broke the ground with that exactly as the music came back on. 2-1, it's good.
Et 3 blanches. On a eu une erreur de la part de l'arbitre central, bien sûr, 3 blanches. 340 maintenant pour Jeremy Stenbergo. 340, c'est 10 kilos en dessous de la
Up next, Jerens Kengamu, 340 kilos. It was 350 that clinched the title in dramatic fashion in Lithuania, defeating two-time world champion, a man who had not been defeated since 2018, Russell Orhe.
But it's crazy, like, if we look at pace, that's 7.5 more than his second at Worlds.
And where are we going from here, sir?
Oh, wow. I have no idea, but I'm very excited to see it. Are we going to see the silverback pose? Oh yeah, we are.
Where are we going from here? At Worlds, the second attempt, 332 and a half. Absolutely phenomenal pacing by Jerens here today.
What a talent. What a worker, what a silent worker.
Look, he was an underdog against Russ the first time. He won't be the next time. Oh, there's more.
Okay, Jerens. Okay.
There's more where that came from. 2-1, it's good.
Wow.
Jerens, as we speak, 837.5. And as we speak overall rankings, Tiff, Jerens, Petrie, Sovan, and Pana. Brendan Petrie now, 350 kilos. Bringing his total to 872 and a half. Sorry, 877 and a half.
10 kilos away from his world's total.
Little sticky at lockout, but it's there. 2-1, the judges agree.
Not surprised of the red on the left side.
It was, let's take a look. It was a stitch sticky at the top, right here. Oh, you see a little movement, the left tricep flex.
Exactly.
He fought to keep that shoulder back.
The tricep gave the judges a hint, but it's 2-1, it's good.
When your triceps winking at the front row. We're getting close. Turbo Tiff, 170.
To extend the lead.
Turbo finished at 170 at Worlds. Can she equal that? As a matter of fact, previous 2 performances, 170 was her top end. Forecasted for first. Currently, Tiff, Petrie, Jerens, Sylvan Pana still. As we enter the final round of pulls.
Et la barre est chargée pour Tiffany, une dernière fois. Faites du bruit pour Tiffany Chapon.
Here she comes, the crowd greets her as they see her enter the platform.
What a luxury to have a 4-time world champion as a junior on the platform here at the Silent Worker meet in
On va
Nîmes.
voir un peu plus sa domination aujourd'hui.
2.5 kilo jump from her second.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a fight at lockout, but it should go up. Come on, Tiffany.
And a solid, dependable 170 it is for Turbo Tiff. Has she pushed it out of reach for the rest of the lifters?
119,096. IPA point validé.
119 GL points and currently in the lead.
Une dernière fois,
Turbo Tiff finishes her day. Her total at 430, which is a monster total, obviously, for a 47. Tiff, the greatest 47 we've ever seen. And 260 for Charlie.
pour soutenir ses athlètes,
Missed this on his second. Coming out for it on his third.
respecter la barre, le public et l'événement.
Brennan Petrie, if you're wondering, in second so far with 114. Jurens, 114 as well.
260, c'est ton moment,
Just
Charles, on y va.
a couple decimals separate those two men. However, Jurens might be looking to make a statement to the rest of the world.
Allez Charlie, allez. On y croit Charlie.
Second try at 260 for Charlie. He goes up!
Heart of a lion by Charlie.
Voilà, comme quoi c'est une histoire de cœur.
3 white lights, and what a way to end his day.
120 kilos.
Maybe he rehydrated a bit, but he put his whole heart on the platform and it went up. Crazy reaction from Charlie.
What an excellent third attempt. Charlie digging deep. It looked like this wasn't going to move for him.
290 kilos.
And up next, Panagiotis, 290, which will give him 710. This would have won him the World Championships just a week and a half ago.
Crazy total. Back-to-back competition, worlds, now the Silent Worker meets. And what a way to bounce back for the Grind King if he hits this.
710 kilos. It's
Man,
also
oh man.
a personal best for Penna if he can hit this.
Chargé pour Pana.
Whoa, he's fired up.
Oh yeah. Fired up like never before for this 290. You can hear the crowd yell, Pana, Pana.
710. Et en paire, le
710. Wow. The atmosphere is hectic. It's crazy out here for Penna. The Frenchman, the Grind King. It's going
Oh,
up.
it's off. It's up to his knees. And Penna grinding to the top. Does he get the down command? Oh, 2-1. So close. Absolutely fantastic effort. And literally so close to 710
What a
kilos.
reaction from this guy. Just an inch a bit of lockout, and it was right there. It's never easy for this guy, but he always does his best. Very inspirational. What a character Penna is.
292.5 for Valentin.
292,5 pour Val, qui pourrait reprendre la première place. Pardon, la 8e place à Ciel, s'il menera bien sa tâche. Allez Val, il va falloir la faire. Le grip a tenu à 2,80, il tiendra à 2,92.
Penna in
Et là,
5th
chargé.
place overall, not
Allez,
likely to
va.
change. This is again a reminder based off of good lift points.
And this is definitely top end for Valentin. He needs to keep his grip tight. That's the only issue.
Ne laissez aucun détail au hasard. Allez.
280 moved well, 30 kilo jump from his opener. 12.5 kilos off of that.
The setup of the ends is key for him.
Oh, and you said it was the grip that previously plagued him, and once again reveals itself in his final pull of the day, but very close.
And you can see him smile because he knows that's his little weak link that he's trying to work on.
Pay attention to his right hand lockout, and just moments before the down command, it comes out of his hand. 305 next for Ciel.
And you know what? That's a bar that never came off the ground for him. That would be a PB both on the platform and in the training. Never loaded that bar, never. But because of the crowd, he's loading it today.
Yeah, if you're gonna hit a personal best, today's the day. The way 297 moved and the confidence he had as he exited the platform from it.
I see the determination in the look of my guy, Ciel. And it is time to showcase the strength he's been working on. He's more technical than before. He's stronger than before. It's the build-up to this last deadlift, and it's right now.
The crowd chanting Caillou.
The crowd deserves this one, Ciel. You gotta give it to him, come on.
Oh, what a fight to lock it out. Just that lockout, though.
It was close.
Yeah, it was a very close, tight battle. .335 now being loaded for Emil Krastev. Emil, 105, 110 if he hits this. That'll move him a stitch over Penna and into 5th place overall. Can he bump Penna out of the top 5?
Le top 5 de ce prime time sera récompensé. C'est donc pour prendre le 4e à Sexit. Et dans cette 5e place.
It's 350 that flew up the crown at Worlds for him, but where the hook left. So 335 must be possible for Krastev.
Emil looking to assert himself into the top 5 and bump out the legend Penna.
Allez, Emile. Come on, one last attempt. Come on. Finishing strong. Come on.
Looks like he's done it.
He's happy with that one for sure.
And Penna has to be careful what he asks for when he's inviting these lifters. Oh, wow. Jerens Kengamu, 352.5 being loaded for his final pull of the day.
That would be 116.02 gel points if he hits this one.
Emil currently in top 5. And Jerens, this will put him at 850 kilos. Jerens, 845 won him the title. Personal best deadlift, personal best total by a world champion. It will be the first time Jerens enters the 850s.
And that will be over the world record of the 83s because that's his. Crazy ground that Jerens Kengamu has covered this year. Crazy ground. And you can see all of the lifters coming out of the tent to cheer on Jerens.
All of the lifters out of the wings and on to the left side of the platform.
Shushing the crowd again.
It's become signature. Even the music drops.
Music is going down. Oh my God. It's Jerens time, Ryan.
It's Jerens time.
Oh my goodness!
850! It is!
He's done it again!
Whoa! The Miracle Man keeps
done it
pulling
again!
off miracles, and there's more in store. Sheffield cannot come soon enough. Brendan Petrie, Coco, Leah Bavois, all greeting him on the side of the platform. What a performance by the reigning world champion, Jerns Kimgambu, and Brendan Petrie up next. 365. This will give him an 892 and a half. Penna, Jerns, off to the side, cheering him on as Brendan eyes 365.
And if he hits this one, you know what? That's second place behind none other than Turbo Tiff, so he would bump Jerns Kimgambu to third place.
Can he bump past Jerns?
Is it Petrie time, or is it still Jerns time? The last attempt of the silent worker meet, prime time for Brendan Petrie. One last fight, one last deadlift.
Oh. Tells the crowd, not today, but he's greeted with applause. And as it stands, Turbo Tiff, Jerns, Petrie in third, Sylvain in fourth, and Emil in fifth. And that will conclude the competition of silent worker. And those are your top 5. And what a competition it was. World class, all of these from world champions to world medalists to world record breakers. And a lot of these lifters will be at the World Games. How many times have I said world in the past minute and a half? And a great performance by these lifters.
It shows the quality of lifters we have had here today. And it shows that the sport is growing in France. And that's very good for the future. I want to thank you one last time for being with us here today. It was an honor. And I feel like it was very good for everybody in the audience. We are very happy to have you, so an honor, sir.
Checking out, until next time, six-pack Lapidat.
Six up. That was not what you wanted me to say.
That was actually ended up better.
Croyez-moi, en 10 jours, c'est très très dur de se remettre dedans. On a le corps qui est brûlé. La plupart ici, vous êtes des coureurs, vous savez ce que ça fait. Et donc imaginez de faire 2 compétitions back-to-back et à chaque fois avec des enjeux, avec une foule incroyable ce soir. Donc bon, je sais pas si vous avez pas. Oui, guys, come on the stage. S'il vous plaît, je veux un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour tous ces athlètes-là. Tous ces athlètes-là. Juste pour vous dire, en m'incluant avec eux, ici vous avez que des podiums dans toutes les catégories respectives, dans celles dans lesquelles on a concouru. Donc s'il vous plaît, on va faire un par un parce que je veux vraiment que vous leur donniez du love. Aujourd'hui ils sont venus, ils étaient face à vous, dos au mur, ils ont tous fait le boulot. Alors s'il vous plaît à droite, Émile Krastel, vice-champion du monde, Sony, t'as un tonnerre d'applaudissements. Juste pour vous dire, elle a squat 311, 311, right? Elle a squatté 311 kilos au championnat du monde, la moins d'une semaine. Ensuite, on continue. Brendan Petrie, 3e, moins 93 kilos. Il vient tout droit des États-Unis. The man himself, Jerns Kimgambu, il parle français. Donc allez le harceler à la fin si jamais vous voulez discuter avec lui, faire des photos. Jerns Kimgambu qui a fait un total de fou furieux, 850 kg à 85 de bodyweight, 10 fois poids de corps à 85 kg, c'est juste monstrueux. Notre champion, notre 59 kg français, vice-champion du monde, Antoine Garcia, Ant-Man. 4 fois championne du monde, pas une, pas deux, pas trois, 4.
parce que, comme j'ai dit, on a tous concouru il y a moins de 10 jours, 12 jours pour certains d'entre nous. Mais un show, ça s'écrit du début à la fin. Et donc, s'il vous plaît, j'appelle tous les athlètes du prime time à venir sur le plateau. Tous, s'il vous plaît, venez sur le plateau. Et vous inquiétez pas, ce soir, s'il faut, on reste jusqu'à 3h du mat pour faire des photos, je n'ai rien à faire. Et j'ai dit rien à faire pour rester poli, mais s'il faut même jusqu'à 5h du mat. Donc, je vais continuer la présentation rapide. Antoine de Rotel, qui a fait un gros total, qui a fait son PR total en compte, 8,72,5 avec un PR à 3,55. Tonnerre d'applaudissements pour lui. Camille Adris, championne du monde junior moins de 52 kg, qui tente du coup les moins de 57 à partir de maintenant. Un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour elle. Celui juste après, je ne vais pas le présenter. Je ne vais pas le présenter, il me saoule. Bon, je croise les doigts pour le caillou. Ce soir, on sait s'il participe au championnat du monde dans 5 semaines. Donc les doigts sont croisés pour lui. Envoyez toutes les bonnes ondes. On va toutes. Que des bonnes ondes, que des bonnes ondes. Un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour celle, s'il vous plaît. Valentin Pur, notre technicien moins de 83, regardez un peu cette machine. Regardez le physique, que du power. Que du power. Malik Triolet, qui est du coup notre star montante moins de 93 kg junior. Il a à peine 18 ans et il commence tout de suite les juniors avec un bench de monstre, vous l'avez vu. En ce moment, il gère une petite blessure, donc c'est pour ça qu'au squat de terre, il n'était pas au max. Mais normalement aussi, il participe à l'Euromuscle Show dans quelques semaines et ce sera pour obtenir ses qualifications pour les championnats du monde. Donc s'il vous plaît, tonnerre d'applaudissements pour Malik. 18 ans, il bench 2,20 à 18 ans. C'est mon fils caché, mais il ne faut pas le dire. Charlie Ménès, du coup, les gars, ce matin, Charlie s'est levé 68,8 et il a cut 65 kg. Donc en gros, il a cut 3,8 kg quasiment en une journée. Et il est venu sur le plateau et il a fait le show jusqu'à la fin. Donc s'il vous plaît, un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour lui. On continue avec Julien Gouty, notre vice-champion moins de 59, mais il a envie de devenir champion de France moins de 59. Pour le savoir, vous aurez juste à venir au championnat de France, qui sont fin octobre, début novembre, à Montpellier, donc pas très très loin d'ici. Donc, venez encourager Gouty, on aura un match fratricide entre Gouty et Antoine. Antoine veut rester champion de France, Gouty veut prendre sa place. C'est le sport, c'est la compétition. Donc un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour Gouty, s'il vous plaît. Enfin, avec le dernier athlète qui a participé à ce fight time, le Magoul originel, Emmanuel Rousseau. Donc je sais qu'il est déçu de sa peau, mais c'est le lot de tous les athlètes. Donc voilà, alors c'est pas fini parce que le mythe, c'est pas que les athlètes, c'est aussi toute une organisation, un staff, une média team, DD avec toute la fédé qui sont venus, qui ont fait tous ces décors scéniques. Le live, One-Fight Conquest, c'est faire que la production pour eux. Tous les bénévoles, les chargeurs, les parrains, c'est le sale boulot et ils sont là et ils le font. Donc s'il vous plaît, je veux que vous redoubliez d'efforts et un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour tous les bénévoles qui ont aidé. J'ai une dernière mention un peu spéciale, un peu particulière. Vous connaissez probablement tous King of the Lift, qui est la voix officielle du powerlifting, qui fait tous les lives des Worlds. Donc la voix trop stylée que vous entendez sur les Worlds, c'est ce gars-là. Donc c'est Ryan qui a la casquette juste là. S'il vous plaît, un tonnerre d'applaudissements. Alors, j'espère que c'est pas faux, on va passer en live. Normalement, il vient du Canada, il est censé bosser, il a dit qu'il était malade. J'espère que... voilà. Croisez-moi. S'il est viré, il faut que quelqu'un lui demande l'eau, s'il vous plaît. On trouvera. Mais avant que je termine, on va faire la remise des récompenses évidemment. Mais avant que je termine, je voulais dire que demain c'est un jour un peu particulier parce qu'on a compétition matin et début d'après-midi. Et après, en fait, fin d'après-midi, toute la soirée, on a le lieu ici jusqu'à pas d'heure. négocier avec la patronne. Mais en gros, l'objectif c'est quoi? C'est d'avoir un salon de la force, c'est-à-dire qu'on aura plein d'activités, plein d'événements, on va vous faire gagner des lots. Et moi je serai toute la journée sur place, il y aura tous les athlètes toute la journée sur place. Donc en gros, si demain après-midi, évidemment venez le matin pour la compte, pour encourager les athlètes, je compte sur vous. Mais en gros l'après-midi, on fait un salon de la force. Toute l'après-midi, vous aurez le Lia's Kitchen pour manger des trucs protéinés préparés par l'IA, donc forcément ce sera le meilleur. Vous aurez tous les trucs, plein d'activités. L'activité My Fit Cheese, on va faire un max de rep pour essayer de gagner du fromage protéiné. Vous imaginez pour être aussi balèze que tous les gars là qui ont derrière. Donc voilà. Donc du coup, bookez votre après-midi. On fera peut-être une soirée pizza. Imaginez, soirée pizza, full powerlifting. Ça va être une dinguerie. On va tous aller dans les rues de Nîmes. On va craquer les trottoirs, ça va être dingue. Bref, c'est bon, j'arrête. Merci infiniment, vous êtes des tueurs. Et on va faire un maximum de photos ce soir. Je crois qu'il y a oublié quelqu'un. Les gars, du bruit pour Thomas! Merci à toi. J'ai le seul, j'ai raté 7-10, donc c'est pas grave. La honte. Vous voyez pourquoi je voulais pas vous l'encourager? Vous voyez? Voilà, hey, le premier qui va faire une photo avec celle, il fait pas de photo avec moi. Bon, merci encore, et là on va faire le podium. Merci infiniment. Alors, en gros, le podium, ça s'est joué à l'indice. À l'indice, c'est une application qui s'appelle GL.IPF. En gros, tu mets ton poids de corps, tu mets le total que tu as réalisé, et ça te donne un indice. En règle générale, on sépare les hommes et les femmes, et sauf que là, vu qu'on avait pas beaucoup de femmes qui participaient, on avait que 3, j'ai dit faire un podium à 3, ça n'a pas trop de sens. Donc on a mélangé tout le monde qui prend en même temps. Donc, comme je l'ai dit, c'est un groupe de furieux qu'on a eu là. Donc on a décidé pas simplement de récompenser le podium, on va récompenser le top 5 des athlètes. Et chaque athlète du top 5 aura un vélo et un achat. La moula. Alors du coup, pour les résultats, histoire qu'on soit sûr. Alors, du coup, à la 5e place, je vais faire qu'en français en anglais parce que là, il y a des gars qui sont anglais, voilà. Donc à la 5e place du Silent Worker Meet 6e édition Prime Time, on a le Bulgare Emile Krastev. Big flex pour Emile Krastev. Avec 110-40-20. 110-40-20. Encore une fois, comme j'ai dit, le gars il a fait la course à moins d'une semaine, 10 jours, donc voilà, un grand respect à lui. 4e, on a du coup Sovan Pal, 4e place sur le 7 112-09-20. Elle a fait un père à 205, vous imaginez? C'est pas vite. Par contre, on va du Sovan. 3e place, le podium de ce Silent Worker Meet, 3rd place of the Silent Worker Meet 6th edition, Brandon Petrie! Donc, maintenant, on arrive... pas un champion qu'on a, c'est une championne. Et c'est pas n'importe quelle championne, c'est la championne, la GOAT du moins 47 kilos, Tiffany Chapeau.